Brick Talk. I am Randy,
And I'm Danhai.
and this week we're talking about the market as usual. And of course, we have that wonderful um, title for this week's Buying the Market and Other Mistakes, right? And shout out to the design. I really like the design this week. He had put in mistakes and spell it wrong, and I thought that was a great mistake. Uh, Deliberate is good, but the point remains. So we're talking about the market and other mistakes. Buying the market. So far, we've only had one identified. That I've identified so far. Troy come with him.
Let me see.
He never buy JFP because
My price.
he was waiting
Oh,
on
who,
my
Troy?
price. Right? Yeah, try that. So for the people
Which
watching
price
and
at
wondering,
191?
160, 177, he said. So for the people watching, welcome. And we were talking a little bit before on Twitter. We'd love for if you want to join us on Twitter. If you on YouTube, look in the description. There's a link there. Click the link and you can join. You can send a question. You can ask. You can join in and talk to us. And we have a couple of people talking to. So we're talking to Troy, whose voice you're hearing, and also to the brick cutter himself. And then we'll run on to Ryan. But Troy was saying that he had a actual major question that he wanted
Mm-hmm.
to ask us this week. So Troy, what's your question? And wait, sorry, Troy, to cut you one more time. Forget that I'm live. Let me just do the
Yeah, man,
usual
no problem.
disclaimer. I am not a licensed investment advisor. Danai Hall is. You should do all of your investment moves with the advice of a licensed investment advisor. This show is not investment advice. Not none of the show should be taken in that way, any at all. Speak to Danai at the Hall Advisory if you want to speak to the best advisor around about how to get things done. But don't buy or sell based on anything we say on the show, all right? We are not giving advice. We're not acting as advisors while we're on the show. It's just Danai and I talking. And anybody that comes on the show, it's still just us talking. We can talk about companies. We can delve into what we like, what we don't like, what we think will happen, what has happened, but do not buy or sell based on anything that we say on this show. Yeah, I think we've gotten that out of the way. So, with that said, we jump right back to Troy, who is telling us about his not buying JFP at 177 because him waiting on his price. 116 same prices than I. And so today it closed at 183 with orders all the way up to 191.
Mm-hmm.
Buy orders all the way up to 191. So,
So yeah, man, let me see because I don't have my price. So
Oh,
mm,
yeah, I just have one
Hey,
wait until
Troyan,
my price come. Yeah, you have one feel.
me did miss it before, you know.
Oh, you
And
dep on the
guess what?
trader now.
And guess what? It did come right back down and I buy it.
Ah, your price.
so
Your price.
it's going to come back to Troy's price, you said?
I never said that at all, though.
So like feel I go
Lightning may
sell.
not strike
Feel
twice.
it sold like you're going to sell 758,000 units at 191.
I actually would be very surprised if that order is still there on Monday morning.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
would you? You guys would be surprised if that
I
order
would.
is
Yeah,
there
yeah,
Monday
yeah.
morning?
I would be surprised.
Why?
I
Why?
think it's window
Why?
dressing.
Window dressing.
I
Well,
think
you
it's
guys
Because
Why?
like
But
because of the
why?
raid.
me never consider the top order for big because it came in so late, and well, I don't know what time it came in. So let me not say it came in late, but I never thought it would be there going into what's the next month, April, May. Yes, I never thought it would remain there. It would either get filled or yeah, it probably get filled or get removed.
I almost say something I don't want to say, but yeah.
I think it
Uh,
can get removed.
why?
It because it happened last month. That's basically why.
did it.
Same.
Judge,
The exact, not the exact same thing, but it at
Boy,
very late
more
orders
cut you
came
off
in.
right now.
Okay, sir. Click.
No, no, no. Let me hear it
I
because
need to
I
cut
did
But
not.
no,
Thanks to the same thing happened last month. I'm desperately trying to bring it up on my money, JA.
I think it went up to like
There is an action.
194 or 195.
Yeah, last week. Yeah, last month's Q.
I don't have the queue, but I would have the trade history
Trades,
for the 31st.
but not show the full story.
For the 31st
True.
of March.
I mean, I
So,
can believe you. I don't know what the listeners. That's the question.
I can tell you, okay, I'm getting there. But I remember that there was a late order that came in that pushed the queue. Well, several late orders came in.
On the
That pushed the
31st.
prices up to 195 on the 31st of March.
Okay.
I don't know what the closing queue was, but the last at 12:59 p.m. there were 5 orders at 195, ranging like 380,000, 300,000, 119,000 shares. And there was, and the closing bid was 195, if I remember correctly. Should be able to find that too. Closing bid was 195, and then on and I definitely remember that the following trading day, those orders were gone because that day I wanted to sell.
Yeah, I think the highest it traded the following day was 191.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's correct. It opened, the highest it traded for was 191 on the following day.
Oh,
But I don't know if I'm trying to hear what you're saying. I'm not trying. I want to hear the fullness of what you're saying.
they like JP contributed to the $5 billion loss in time.
Contributed to the
Yeah,
5 billion loss, which
the almighty
You
permanent
know how
$5
much
billion loss.
times I've run that through my mind so much because the little sense it make, it really don't make no sense, like just the think pieces I saw on it, I'm really actually shocked. Like, yo, Jano, it takes such a lot of understanding that it's baffling. Like, if you hear at all, then that should make sense to you, right? But no.
Yeah, it feel like deliberate misunderstanding, like effort.
I feel like that might have. I don't think like the news was doing it, but it felt that way from whoever was talking about it a certain way. Like, yo, okay, this is my chance to discredit this thing.
Weird.
Yeah, man, that was crazy, but it's a still thing there. Yeah.
I wonder.
Upon that Cabas acquisition target inside, as me just scroll more and more and more. What a week!
Yeah, it's been a hell of a week. I want to. I got a loss from that point though, Phil. You're
Oh,
saying that
sorry.
you think, yeah, because I really I want to close, and I'm sure people are
Yeah, I
wondering.
want to know too.
So Phil is thinking that it's window dressing, meaning that I don't know if you're being tongue in cheek or you really think that maybe it's institutional parties that have
Yeah,
a vested interest.
I think so.
but hold on,
How
stick
the
a pin.
trades went today.
I think first thing, Randy,
Hmm.
you have to kind of like define what is window dressing for your audience.
I considered doing that, man. I said I did. I considered doing that, and I did it last week or the last time we spoke about it. But yeah, I'll do it again. So actually, no,
Okay,
Phil, when
okay.
you say window dressing, you tell the people what you meant.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
me.
let me not put words in your mouth.
Yeah, I would mean that at the end of a particular reporting period,
Hmm.
um, vested interests may purchase a stock price higher, and with the desire of having the stock price close at a particular level at the end of that reporting period. So on that day, you would see a large buying towards the end of the day, and the stock price would therefore end that day and thus that period, whether it's a quarter, a year, or maybe even a month, higher than than an amount X.
Okay. So that's
Yeah,
what, so
I think that's
window dressing. So you mean like, so institutional parties or interested parties, usually institutions, would be buying heavily on that date in order to have their overall holdings be much higher. So they don't have to report a bad thing, a bad number or loss, or if they do have to report one, it's not as bad as if the price was down. That's what you mean when you say window dressing.
yeah.
All right. And then I understand why, and for context, for anybody who missed it last month, understand why you would think that that happened last month at the end of March because a lot of trades happened that way. On the end of a lot of stocks spiked at the end of March and fell very heavily the very next day at the start of
Correct.
April, which is what contributed to that $5 billion loss on the JSE set of headlines that you hear us talking about a little tongue in cheek, right? No, I just making sure that everybody has context, everybody listening has context. No, having said that, however, um, let me give a little bit of pushback. I understand why that would happen in March because at the end of March is the end of a quarter for a lot of companies. What's at the end of April?
Aha. So that is the question. Um, it's only the end of a month. It's not the end of a quarter, and I can't think of. Well, I can think of one company where it's the end of their quarter, but it's not related to this to JFP.
Hmm.
Um, that's main event. But
Main event quarter ends today.
Yep.
Oh yes,
yes, sir. Well, it ends on Sunday technically, but today's the last trading day of their quarter.
I know that
But
matters.
Last
not
business day of their quarter.
last trading day, but not last business days main event,
Yeah, it
bro. That
matters.
weekend work
This
happens.
is true.
That's true.
Weekend, enough money for all.
Yeah, yeah, but
With Big Blue this Expo weekend.
but
Anyway,
Randy,
Hmm.
sorry, listen. If it happen the end of the quarter, what stop it from happen at the end of the month? Because the end of the quarter is just the end of a month.
No, and I agree with you
But
on that.
but why?
no,
But
no,
if a
but
matter,
what's significant?
if our reason, what's significant about the end of a quarter and what's significant about the end of this month? So I think probably Randy never. Randy should. I think Randy should have lead there.
No, I never wanted to lead it at
Yeah,
all. I wanted it to be said, and then to
Okay.
bring out that point. The end of a quarter, I understand it. Why does it matter? Right? So like Danhai said, why does it matter? Um, it can matter at the end of a quarter because, as I said, a fund or a company might have some holdings that are mark to market. They might have things that are tagged to the share price, or some of their holdings are tagged to the share price of certain holdings that are down. So they have a vested interest in that share price being higher on that day. Like some would say maybe
correct.
QWI and Access. Oh, there's always a high bid on the end of the quarter, right? Because Access is such a
Yeah,
massive part of QWI's portfolio. Some might say Barita and the end of the year in September, October, because so
They have an interest there somewhere.
yeah, maybe not, on the balance sheet or off.
Maybe not in the same way, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Correct. Yeah.
lots of people have it that way, right? No, I get that for the end of March. And cool if I have the end of March. What's the end of April?
what if? Yeah, but what if?
So I'm
What
wondering
if?
if certain funds report. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, try.
No, I was saying that what if it wasn't just a end of quarter thing? What if it's been happening for a few months, but we just
Yeah.
never
So
picked
why?
up on it?
Yeah, we're not saying it never happened, and we're not saying it's a new thing. We're asking, why do you think this is happening this month? Why do you think this is happening on a monthly basis for this one? What would you tie that to? Because if you were to say, if I were to ask you when this going to stop, you have to know why it's happening in the first place.
Hmm.
Because if you're investing against this, then you have to know what's going on so you can actually invest against it. Supposed to stop next month and you were just doing it just cause. And there's a reason it stopped next month. We just don't really know. Suppose it's not happening at all. It just seems that way. What are the reasons for this thing? Why is it thing something we're watching to happen? What's happening behind the scenes? What's going on there? That's what I want to know.
Are there funds that would report
Monthly?
monthly?
I believe so.
That's the question I would look
All of
into.
the
Or is it a
funds.
mutual fund?
I believe all of the funds report that way. But my pushback to you on that is, since when do the funds care?
Mm-hmm.
And care to the point where they're caring monthly? No.
Look on NCB, which is in every single fund, and I don't hear anybody talking about window dressing on NCB.
Nobody now window dressing. But NCB take a holy for window dressing. A
Yes,
window they
that
hard
take
for
a
dressing.
whole to window this.
But
Window there rough.
is it the window paint
Yeah,
over?
that window very, very hard to dress, man.
You have to climb up and
What's funny though, we say
So
that, but I don't know if that's
yeah.
true, right? Like the pensions that are in there.
yeah, I know. That's why I said nobody talking about it, but it is interesting because the truth. Let me just shut up. But it is interesting.
43 million to bring NCB to 78,
Mm-hmm.
but you're buying it up to
You know, say
90.
someone go buy behind you because NCB is moving.
No,
Minute seat.
nah. Well,
You sure? We see that before. I see that
yeah, but
before.
you need,
I see NCB make Twitter news
and
because the price go up a little bit.
it will.
Or the price go up over a little time. Yes, I figure
Yeah, it will,
that can cause some
but
interest.
not one day.
Oh no. But if you go up like I don't want to make the full point to make it. So
Yeah, I don't
yes.
want to explain it all either. Sorry, people, we don't give away everything for free anymore. Check the old episodes for a lot more detail. But but while we're here though, we do still touch our points very clearly. And so the pushback on that point, Phil and Troy, is if you
Is the way.
yeah, it's the why. The why matters heavily. The why is not just a thing happening. A thing happening and somebody talking about it is cool, but we're in the game of prediction. Whether or not other people know it, we are in the game of prediction. And the why is the most important thing for the prediction. So why would they do it this month? And bear in mind,
Yeah.
Phil, going back to your point about the last day, last month. Um, if I can allow last month, maybe, but today, I mean, 500,000 units traded before it closed, Not more than 500,000. Sorry, let me be more than 500,000. There's a single trade at the end of the day that,
Right.
yeah, that was,
That
it's strong an
Wait, and
understatement.
that says to me a large single order bought all the units up in the sell queue up to 191. Not well, I don't know if it's all, but most of them up to 191
Hmm.
one time.
one time, which is similar to
Imagine your price was 190. Imagine you're the other at 192 or
boss.
193.
But stop choosing after me, no brother. 193, you know.
Really?
Anyway, yes,
Oh my God.
absolutely.
You see that big 193 right there? Yeah,
It's
man.
not all of my
Cause
shares.
it
No,
can't be
no,
the
no,
smallest
no.
one. Cause, yeah, man.
It's gone, man.
But
It's gone. It's
I
cancelled.
why I figure that I was looking. I figure say you either sell or you have because you mentioned just now you're about it falling back.
Hmm.
So you got where you want to go. So I think you expect it to fall back. I noticed price Stride's 177 is a nice is right above the second highest order in the queue. So 176 is here, then 191. Try is
Yeah.
conveniently at 177. So try
Yeah.
your wait for your thing there. You wait for
Man.
next for May for buy first thing as this thing disappears as you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it on my watch list.
I see.
One to watch.
One to watch.
Watching it for my
Give me
price.
1 minute.
Oh boy. So remember to mute that. But the I don't know. I don't know how much I want to delve into what I think is happening with them, but I think there's a lot of information that came out about them that was interesting, and a lot of that interesting information I think should not make this a surprise. I think maybe the luckiest people in the
Mhm.
world are the people that did split grow this week. So at split grow this week, at grow, part of it is you learn how to analyze a company, and I don't pick the company at grow. I allow the people doing grow to pick which company will do. So we picked JFP and we went into it and we learned and we went to a bunch of points and I explained how things were found, and a lot of detail, and I give, of course, along the way, I also give my own real dot connection. I connected a few dots as I saw it, as I think is likely to happen or happening with JFP. And the split grow was Tuesday and Wednesday, and between Thursday and right now Friday, they have gotten, and I have also gotten a whole lot of confirmation. Um, to the point where I have to wonder if I knew before, and I didn't know before. It truly is predicting. I don't have that. I don't have any inside link like that. But it's a beautiful thing, and I think that people who did split grow really got the best. 'Cause them get a
a tomorrow proving.
yeah, yeah,
Real life.
yeah.
Zero.
Oftentimes it'll grow and you have to wait, and you wait months before you start. You do it on your own in something else, and you start seeing it. But boy, same week, same exact week, same exact things coming out. Yeah, I think a massive amount of things are happening with JFP, including one point, Phil, that I think I first heard from you sometime back around that 7 million US, or you the person who mentioned 7 million US. That make any sense to you?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, that 7 million US.
7 million. Yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
we went into the math of that and the implications for JFP based on that 7 million US. Yeah, I'll talk about that one with the gross subscribers again because I did talk to them about it before. But yeah, I don't think I say all that to say that I don't think that it's the retail sitting in the queue at 191.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I think the retail. I don't think that's retail. I think retail got for about 177 immediately,
you get me?
or actually 175.
Yo, since the IPO,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
since the IPO. Oh, sorry, finish your point, then I'll remember this. Don't worry.
oh no, that's it. That's it. That's it.
So,
It's a sense of IP, and I wanted to say do not participate.
oh, since I do not, since I do not participate, hey, listen. So the official topic for this week is the official
Do
topic
not participate.
is not do not participate. It's not do not participate. God, if you listen to us at any point in time, or if you listen to us from we're doing Brick Talk, not Brick Talk, we're doing earnings season, you know that the stance I have is that the industry has certain areas in which they are really weak, extremely weak, and one of their weakest areas is analysis and recommendation. Um, and here we are years later, years and years later, because I've been saying it for years now, and I don't know how much, I don't think they've improved very, very much. They're not very good at analysis and recommendation. So, in fact, if you go back, I believe that Dana and I had a conversation when JFP was listing. And I was
Mhm.
saying, I'm sure it's there, so you can go back and check earnings season
I mean, I
podcast.
was I was hot on it.
You,
Definitely, I was not about
no, but
it.
you remember that
I
you remember
mean,
that
yeah.
conversation that we had where I said to you, I'm not that hot on it. There's certain factors are not having the same level of expectations
Mm-hmm.
around it. And the thing lists literally one day before Eddie Focal. No fault
Mm-hmm.
of theirs. It is what it is. But I remember saying to you that I also see a lot of the brokers saying do not participate. And the fact that
Mm-hmm.
they're saying don't participate,
Means there's something here.
well, here we are at
Because every other time them say something good go on.
I
the
remember that.
fact that they
So why I
want.
must ignore I must ignore that fundamental of the market.
Oh, wow.
That is crazy.
So literally the fact that I was I mean I said it and I'm not really joking when I say it. Then I know how serious I am when I say yo, there are certain little signs that you can always count on. And one of them is I wasn't very hot on the IPO, but if some brokers agree with me not being hot on it, I'm like, oh, I need to take a second
Step
look.
back and say,
Something wrong. Um I did take a second look and it JFE has progressed how I expected it to progress. And we've spoken about that time.
it's funny because like that's also another thing I've seen. Just I'm sure there's a lot of reluctance from certain sides to change their view on JFP because when I said this one time, then you know how it go. They will not like our company or whatever, and then every analysis after that will be see this thing, this data point carry coming. This data point carry coming. And it's almost like we just double down on whatever feeling. However, only things will change for the company. It often takes a long while before, oh, that makes sense. Remember Fesco? Fesco never makes sense to nobody until after the record profits just keep coming out. You hear, say, oh, so it makes sense, Yeah. And it's funny because we were saying Fesco also didn't have a nice IPO run. And we were likening that to JFP. So imagine they're wrong on Fesco twice. And then JFP, boy, look at them wrong, to be honest. But I also look at we know a weak IPO meaning not very strong movement after listing is an opportunity by itself. Not necessarily in every company, but if the company if the company has out a follow-up of doing well beyond the IPO point, the IPO, look at the IPO, look how we don't get the money yet. We don't execute on the plans we're trying to get the money for. So when that come in, then very often something good is right there. But if you go buy unjust, wow, the company look at this for the last 5 years. I don't care what the next 10 years, the next 5 years will look like. Then you're losing already. You're not making any sense there. So the company has things to go do after the IPO. If they execute on that, very often it's a very nice return on that. JFP proving it.
Yeah.
We saw them after IPO price of fall from steel prices. You go up 191, no.
Yeah, it's funny. So bringing it back to the topic, because we're off topic. This is very much on topic. Buying the market and other mistakes. This is definitely another mistake. The mistake, as I see it, is oftentimes, and it's an industry mistake, as Danhai put forward. Oftentimes, whatever the feeling from the industry is of a company, especially at IPO, that's what that company is stuck with, no matter what, as a reputation, regardless of what the actual output of the company is or the actual approach of the market to that company. So it was
the company can do really well.
Yeah, but it can't.
Boy, double down.
Yeah,
it can't something good about this company because they get here say, it's a little car mart.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little gas station.
Yeah, it's a
them just sell this.
Yeah, it's the inability of the company.
I saw somebody even one time say, yo, why would I buy into Jam Tea after this spin-off? And what they posted was the piece of Jam Tea that was being spun off made $40 million in profit for the quarter. And they say, yo, if this spin-off wouldn't have really buy it, and I was like, do you make $40 million a quarter?
Ooh. No,
that's real life.
Have you been drinking? We're trying to be
nice. But real life. I don't make $40 million a quarter. Right. Why would I not invest in something? Like, what is the basis for this is bad? If this company is profitable, they're making money. Like, what's the bad here? What's the? Just say you don't like Jam Tea. They don't have to then go into that. You get me? I can't see where that was a. But you see that often because I feel this way about this company. They can do no right.
And
you also see the next side. Some of them can do no wrong. You see, boy, the company change up on you, meaning you see, you think about okay, this is our roadmap. These are the things happening, and in the company a couple months after say, yo, it's a longer term thing still, or is that again the thing we're working on not going to really return how we expect it to return in the time, and then you hear every reason why that's okay. It's okay as a company, but it doesn't mean then that everybody invested in it must stay there. Why would they sell this when in the next 3 years they get this anyway? Everybody need their money 3 years time. So why would they not sell it? You have a lot of. I have this feeling about this company. There is a strong reluctance to change people's minds on how they feel, how they see certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't.
And that's the approach generally. That's the baseline approach you find. Like, yo, my mind is this, and you never hear me you never hear me say something else. Or if you hear me say something else, it always the opposite thing I'm saying. I'm going to find some which way that it sounds like it's a follow-up what I was saying before. Like, just say it wrong and go.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, it's two things. One, I think it's linked to on a human level. The man.
Oh yeah, I think that's everywhere it is. Yeah. It's a human thing. Ego is a driving. It will drive you, brother.
Exactly. And the man or woman who is incapable.
Nah, driving nowhere good.
The man or woman who is incapable of changing and accepting change is incapable of growing. The crazy thing to me is that on the stock market, you should know better. No company is terrible
Oh yeah,
forever,
because it's
and no
yeah.
company
I
is
know
great
companies
forever. So you
think about it.
have to think about
That's the thing.
the ebbs and
Yeah,
flow of the
it don't make
company
sense.
and the fact that the market allows you an opportunity to benefit
Mm-hmm.
from predicting that. Meaning, if
Mm-hmm.
I liked, I mean, 3 years ago, that been what, 2020? Let's go pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We've been teased roundly to our face, laugh in our face when we liked Pulse.
Oh yeah, and it become industry baby.
And well, it was a joke at the time, and then it made hundreds of
Uh-huh.
percent. And I was very happy because I owned Pulse and I made a lot of money off it.
Uh-huh.
And then I want to say maybe 2 years later, mid COVID, when it was down after like it's first or second split or whatever, after it split and everything, right? When I'm also out, meaning I have exited the thing. Somebody pinched me and was like, so what happened? Why you not talking about your losses with Pulse? And I go, but I don't have any losses. I was actually confused. What losses with Pulse? Um, well, you're not saying nothing about it, and you loved it. I said I loved it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I loved it 2 years ago for a specific event. It is not what it was 2 years ago. It actually fulfilled what I expected it to fulfill in the time I expected it to fulfill it. I got where I was going.
Mhm.
Why would I?
You are synonymous with pulse.
Yeah,
It's not even
You
that.
can't separate.
Randy has a reputation of being short term everything.
Jesus.
Meaning you cannot convince somebody that Randy holds stocks beyond a year. So then,
Yet.
but then, so it's interesting. Like it's just it's just a reluctance to see reality. I know. I think this thing about you. It contradicts with that next thing, but the next thing needs at the next. I need that point for the next thing to stand for me to run with. So I'm gonna ignore the other thing as I was saying before.
If you,
That makes
if you
sense.
ignore in reality, you can't make it on the market. The market gonna beat you up constantly. Yeah, that's the simple truth. The market gonna beat you
Yeah,
up constantly
boy.
if you ignore reality.
Think about the Carib Cement is making a bag of money
It
for
did.
you. I reach 120. No, not you. It's generally. A lot of people were there. A lot of people were Carib Cement was in a I fall now. Boy, I stuck.
Yeah.
You were telling me you had it at $30. It reached 120. You were waiting for 150 or 200 or wherever.
No, you weren't.
You see it at 100 and you're fully fearful. You expect it to continue falling. But let me just sit down and watch it.
Because you
No.
weren't really waiting
I,
for
I
160.
understand if you don't think you're going to fall, or you think say, or you have some level of belief that okay, this is not getting there. But if you're talking from a point of John, this thing mash up because I'm not get me dividend and the price will fall, it'll go fall more. There's no way you stay behind that. Because you can literally sell it, and if it falls as you believe,
Hmm.
you can buy some more carb cement. But that's save money, more units. Okay, dividend nice or no. But yeah, man, it's pretty interesting.
Very, very interesting, I think. Very, very interesting. And it, it is one of the other mistakes on the market. The idea of thinking that the companies that are listed on the market are stuck, are static. They are whatever your last view of them was, and they cannot change. Are you mad? The market is built to encourage and engender change. So it must change. And if you also, it leads to another mistake, other mistake, a very popular mistake, which is I think a lot of people in the industry don't actually understand how the industry works. They don't actually understand how the market works. If you understand how the market works, you understand that heavy good times naturally must lead to lesser good
Heavy
times.
okay
Yeah,
times.
okay times, and maybe and
Because that's the thing about it. The thing I'm working on now to make me get a lot of profits.
mhm.
There's a point when that thing makes me the profits, and then those profits are no longer spectacular anymore
And
because we
it's
made the
reflected in
profits.
the stock price.
So it's like what next situation?
Exactly,
Like, every day is a new day in business, right? So
exactly.
it's until that next thing that well, this thing looks very okay. So Imagine that. I'll never sell this stock. NCB buck 200, and I'll never sell no matter what happens.
Who tell you
That
that?
no make no
Uncle
sense.
Michael?
My uncle could have told me that, and then I'm not gonna believe him.
Oh boy. All right. I want to pause for
Randy.
this one. I want sorry, somebody just say something. Go ahead, Troy, and then I'm going
Oh,
to
no man, I thought I made a try get to a little point before me run off.
Tava. You can't skip the
Um,
line, so don't boy.
Wait, the foreign?
no man, I don't really skip line, man. At the
Cut the
topic,
line.
at the topic where at the topic where Danhai that talked about earlier. Like a little second earlier, me did do add something to.
All right, go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
me
and
just
then I'm
come
gonna
out like
ask
a minute.
Ryan what's up.
Yeah,
Because Ryan has
yeah,
been
man.
waiting.
Basically, what me da mention still is when yeah, and Danhai that talk about like the companies, coming into the market and is a little gas station or a little this or a little that,
Mm-hmm.
and people probably brush it aside. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people come to the market to change things or to fix things about the companies.
That's a
I mean, them come to the market to raise capital in order to improve on what they have already. So it's really plans, and I just come to the market to collect the free money just like that. So I mean, the
Hey,
company
you'd
must
also
have planned.
you think it. Let me tell you a style too. Also, when you fling in the boy, they never raise any money for the company. It's just all shareholders selling. Yeah, but no, you own an asset.
Exactly. You get a piece of the pie. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
it going continue growing. You get paid dividends. But
exactly.
the people who
yeah, man,
got those shares, people who buy shares, they don't plan to sell theirs.
yeah, man, them
Why
just
in a look so? It's like it's
Bad
a
man.
bad thing, but
they say
it
them
kind of
stop.
set away because as you mentioned about the whole thing about the whole do not participate thing and so on. I mean, what I tend to find is that these brokers make recommendation on current affairs and not forward looking thing in a way because even then we mention about the whole PE thing or this company not doing well right now and so as such we don't recommend it or whatever it is and that to me like speak of itself because if it is bad now
Mm-hmm.
what would cause it to be good
Mm-hmm.
and when will it be good you know and as
Yeah,
such to me that is where you have to look upon as an investor because
yeah,
it
'cause
bad
the
now that
future
is
yeah
a
buy
very
for.
good exactly and that would be a very good opportunity for me
But you're not
the
gonna make
whole
it.
do not party
You're not gonna make it in the market
huh
with that kind of thinking, you know.
which one
Yeah,
ah boy
If you are looking at this thing as
Two
a
cents in it.
forward looking thing, you're not gonna make it in the market kind of thing. Yeah, you obviously you're right.
Must be a,
You
yeah, it must be a
yeah
yo.
I
How
get
much
what you
money
mean
the
man
JC make today? What's the market work return today?
exactly. And what's
yeah and
Otherwise,
that me
nobody else will make the
realize that
money.
the recommendation I'm out because a couple months ago nobody now recommend this thing. It no good. It drop off a John Jackson list because of XYZ. And then now a few weeks forward. Just like Fesco. Are the same thing. It can't make the list because of XYZ. And when the price gone up 50, 60, 70% at that time, then now you can tell me, say, oh, I recommend you to buy this. What the hell? Why make you never tell me a couple weeks ago before the price fly?
Got to half
You get
run the
me?
race first.
It looks so.
The
You know what?
safest bet is
You know what? Funny thing with Tav Point ties almost directly into the question I me did have originally,
what that summer.
where no man,
All
where I
right.
was thinking. So whilst at work last night, and I try pre the market saying that, well, the month basically done.
mm-hmm.
So I say, all right, what's next? So me trying to figure things out or looking ahead into earning season before earning season even reach. So I say, all right, main market, what's to come? You have Wigton, Transjam, separate of Ace Burden.
Mm-hmm.
Junior market, you have Spurtree have Canco for report. Dollar have Ultra. So I say, all right, what would be some of the things that investors would be excited about going into earning season? Me trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
I say, all right, here I go on. I pose a question to Randy and hear what him say. So, Randy and I, from your perspective, what would be some of the things that investors would be really excited about as we approach earning season over the next few weeks?
I mean things like stocks.
Yeah, man, around the stock market.
Things around the stock market.
What are you interested in? What do you find really exciting, Troy?
Yeah, no,
Me find the anticipation as we approach earnings season for the companies that will be reporting increased revenues and profits for like some of the acquisitions that they did before. So like
I feel,
dollar of
I feel like it be the teeth that answer it. Actually, continue. I like it now. Continue.
no man, me ask you the question, you
to
know.
be
Me
fair,
just I
he
try to
asked
provide
me,
some
and I did
context to
tell him
help
that.
you to
To be
answer
fair,
me.
he asked me, and I did tell him that I would answer. I said that before. It was him asking it before you came that night. So I was like, to keep the conversation going. I never want people at dead air, and I certainly never want them to only have to hear me talking.
So just like what Thomas said, trying to think ahead before these people start recommend all these things, because that's where the profit is. Me, I try to get it from now. If I even to the final day of this month, me not probably not finding the
mhm,
10%, which I did, but hypothetically speaking, let's say I never find the 10%, or I did find it early and get out, I may try to get into something else for move into next month for make the next 10% goal. May I say, all right, may I try to
mhm,
figure that out from now. So may I try to figure out
mhm,
what would be some of the things around these stocks listed on the stock exchange that would cause people to be excited about them. So me posing the question to you guys
yeah.
I
from
mean
your
specific stocks, they
perspective.
saying, right?
You're sounding very
No, just
non-fundamental.
tell
You're
me
sounding
from
very
out of your
non-fundamental.
brain, out of your chain of thought, what you think.
Yeah.
Me know it might be
Dana, you can leave it
it
alone. It's
might
all
not.
right. I'll answer it. You can leave it alone. You
Yeah,
can leave it alone. I had said I'll stick to my word. I had said I would answer it, and so I will. I think Troy also know that that's not the sort of thing I'd normally answer because
yeah.
yeah, Troy is the earning season from
I
long
mean,
time, so you know that we used to talk about that stuff all the time and be very clear and
we
really
can follow up on
relate.
it another time still if you
Yeah, and I'll maybe follow up in more detail when I sorry when I'm talking to the gross subscribers, but for the public, I mean, I guess Christmas in March. There's a window dressing for Christmas. What do I care about for the next 2 weeks since
the
earnings
Christmas.
season hits in 2 weeks? I think I think the
No,
public is
not
going
what you
to
guys care about, what you think people,
will care
investors
about.
care
No
about,
man, I was
or will
clear on your
care about.
question.
So
I was
no,
clear on your question, man. I understand your question. Your question is asked like somebody who actually understands the market. It's a kind of conversation I love and would love to have, but not on the internet. But I will because I gave my word. So I'll go to a little point. I think I think the majority of the people who aren't necessarily going to be doing the level of research that like you are doing, the level of research that I do, the level of research that Danai has to do, the level of
Right.
research that anybody, the grad grads who follow what we teach at grow actually do. I think that they are naturally ahead of the curve, right? So the people who are behind the curve with them, right? The people who look to David to explain something before they like it, and then them look to see if everybody talking about it, then them look to see if the share price
Yeah,
going up before they move, or if the people
yeah.
talking about it whose voices they trust, if they sound excited, I think that those people will be excited about very headline sounding things, right? I think over the next few weeks, maybe over the next few days, but maybe over the next few weeks, and I could be wrong here. I think over the next few weeks, people are going to start realizing that, like, certain points from the AGMs. So, Trans Jamaica, for example, Trans Jamaica just put out a set of resolutions to change, to change some of the rules that cover the company, the shareholders, and the board of the company. And one of those things that they're changing is they're allowing the age of the directors to be no longer limited to 75. It's ageist, and so they're removing it. Um, and I give that joke to the girl guides. And two, they're what's the name of that company, Danny? It's not Enrock. Enrock is government, but JOI is
mm-hmm.
JOI.
Yeah.
JOI,
Oh,
JIO.
JIO,
Yeah,
yes.
JIO. I think JIO.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It is hilarious. Yeah. The GIO it's hard for me to not laugh. It's hard for me to not laugh if somebody else is laughing. Right. The GIO is a company that Transjamaica has owned. No, the operating arm. And the resolution that they put out is one around how the company will be allowed to do share buybacks. So they want to change one of the articles to allow share buybacks in a specific way. But I know that the general investing public does not really always go and do the research that they should. The research will encourage them to. So they hook onto the catchphrase. They hook onto the the catchphrase, the popular thing in the sentence. And I think the popular thing in that sentence is share buyback. And then I think what's going to happen is that the industry guys are going to repeat share buyback. I think Cap Markets is going to speak about the possible share buyback. I think like David, shout out to David. He's been doing. I read an article from David the other day that I actually thought was a great article, probably one of his best. It wasn't on the transfer maker, but I think his writing is getting better, and he's obviously passionate about the markets. I think he's going to speak about the share buyback, possible share buyback. And it's just going to be a buzzword in people's head. Transmaker is already a very popular stock just by virtue of how it was IPO'd. And yeah, I think as people get into hearing all of, or not all of, but maybe a lot of their stock market touch points mention it and say the same word, share buyback, then you're going to get a lot of people maybe looking at Trans Jamaica, and it has the other some of the other elements that people look to for for feeling good about a stock. The price fly, right? The price has risen heavily over the last few weeks. On March 21st, it was 135 per share, and 30 million units got bought. Few days later, 75 million units got bought, and that was at 140. That's around IPO price, right? Years after IPO. And between March 27th and today, it has risen from 140 to 176. So that's a rise in a few weeks of 25%. Um, yeah, that's a rise of a few weeks. A few weeks, Salah? Yeah, a few weeks, maybe a month, over 1 month, 25% in a month. Troy, you'd love that sort of thing since you're the man who was looking for 10%.
in a month.
Yeah, 10%. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, man. So 25% in a month is something that some people would love. I would love it. I don't know many people who would
I
love
would
it.
love it.
Yeah, I'd love 25%. So I think that will hit a lot of people, and they might be excited about that. And I think it might even explain what I was cheekily calling last week the insider wave. Uh, because the trading in the stock picked up suddenly. Similar to that question that Jutsa
Yeah,
asked about JPS 7 per
JPS.
7%. Yeah, I tell Jutsa she should come on and ask us, but she look like she's shy. She don't want to come on. But I don't know why Jutsa, but in the same I don't know what's up with the transfer maker, but I might have my suspicions with the Trans Jamaica specifically though. That's what I think might happen. I think more people will start understanding that, and then there's a gap till when I do think they may do a share buyback of some sort, an open market buyback, and I think they might announce it, and I think the announcement of it will probably serve as confirmation for a lot of, again, retail investors and other investors. Institutional investors act like how you hear them talk about retail investors very often, actually. And so that's why I think in terms of the highway, that might be something happening. 2 week timeline, you say, try, right?
Yeah.
2 week timeline. Um, 2 week timeline. Uh, what else do I
Keeping
think?
in mind that the reports will be released and a lot of information will become available
But
to
I like how
investors.
comprehensive you sound. You sound like how I sound, and I'm trying to help investors understand how they must approach it. So you don't have to me to bear that in mind. actually invest. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. That's good. I think this is more a hope than a real thought. I hope that like JMB will start playing the role of a real supportive broker and maybe, jump and buy some more units in their in IPCL on the back of this information. I mean, they'll be buying it below IPO price,
Oh, so
right?
they're getting good reason to over and over,
Yeah,
right?
they are getting good reason to, and they have a strong position. They bought more. If you look at the top 10 that just came out,
Yeah.
but realistically, I don't think that will happen. I think that the headline that came out will come out about them having them being IPCL, having the best quarter ever, the best
We'll do
year
more for them
ever.
than anybody else.
Yeah, I think that will cause people to have IPCL in mind, and if them still own some IPCL shares, I think they might continue to be frustrated and sell, lead to selling pressure, which I would not be surprised if it's over the next 2 weeks it goes back down to the 170 odd year level or the 160 odd level or even 150. My
Yeah,
price.
it was too good, man.
My price. Yeah.
You say it before me.
Next few weeks. I haven't spoken about this in a while. I don't know if I'm going to keep it free, but it is still public. The Every Mickle calendar is still public, and you can add it to your phone. You can add it to your own phone calendar, and it has all of the events on the market, including events to come. The only calendar I know that's better than that is a calendar that the gross subscribers get. That's my personal market calendar. But the Every Mickle calendar, let me look at that and see what the events are that are expected in the next few weeks.
So nothing upon the AGM for next week.
Whose AGM? Can we have a few AGMs? QWI and Jam T?
Summer.
Does it feel like
Summer.
summer? I mean,
Summer.
I don't know if they don't have anything that they've said in the annual report about summer coming then, right? Don't they have all the permissions already to handle any spin-offs?
Spin-off, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they got all
Based on
the
what they
yeah,
said,
I think they have all the
them said.
permissions.
So,
On that point,
so what?
an interesting note is that Jamty just put out their second quarter numbers. Profit fell, uh, as did revenue. I might be wrong on the revenue. I'm going from memory, but
Yeah, because they've been up on revenue.
yeah, I
Revenue
could be
up,
wrong. So
profits down.
so revenue up, profits down. Okay, yeah, and not one mention at all of Caribbean Dreams. Not one mention of spin-off. Not one mention of anything. And I looked at that and I wondered.
You was expecting that?
I would not have been surprised if maybe they just repeated the same things, certain
Yeah, just go again.
approvals, waiting, or time. Bear in mind, they
Bro,
never gave
we
us
have been waiting, and
Caribbean
they
Dreams.
never gave us set timeline. They never gave us a set time, hence the summer joke. And any time that
I mean, no,
the
man,
times that they give have passed,
no summer again.
Yeah, it's like it's Rihanna's album, right?
Yeah,
So
we're waiting. What's overdue now? The actual spin-off, not the listing, the spin-off.
Yeah.
Based on what they were saying, we should have it by now. So, whether
Let's
they.
see first.
also, I mean, how much am I giving away free? What does spin-off mean?
Yeah, that I've been asking because everybody wants it to mean, yeah, okay, we list tomorrow. It don't mean that spin-off, spin-off in the way Jamty said it could well mean exactly what they said. Not the speculative parts. Could just mean, and do I want to even be giving this? But yeah, it could just mean the regular. The thing they said before that they're actually doing. They've been very clear on what that spin-off is. The extra we add to it and we want from it doesn't have to actually happen.
So yeah, I don't know how much I want to add to that, and
I mean that. So I would just look for. I mean that is also though a good thing there. A good call to the actual topic of the thing there. Mistakes.
Yeah.
This is a good one. People place very heavy reliance on the things they speculate could happen. They don't treat them as beyond the point of the speculation and then buying for it. Then it starts being treated as if it's a possibility. It mean if I mean first is a good example. Homeboy say XYZ in a place where him never have to say, meaning in a place where he never where it wasn't where it's not gospel,
Mhm.
but everybody will take it as gospel. You hold him to it, you hold anybody investing it to it, versus all right, this thing can go XYZ, and then where do I fit in? It's yo, jam teacher summer, then boy summer move rich. If them do this XY, if they do it this way, suppose summer come and them do it the way you want.
Ye-
Them
Suppose
good say
summer
the
and then suppose summer don't come in the time someone's supposed to come.
them good say the market soft.
Imagine. I see thing there, when again, I saw Tyrone tweet about thing there. IP rights issue
Right
in
issue.
this market.
What did that mean? I think it was deliberately fake.
I have no idea. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing,
I
but
think it was deliberately
you know
fake.
what the shareholders are looking to hear.
I think Tyrone learning how to stir the pot in ways that might work for him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
In like must pour, sorry.
that sounds like a voice from Japan. But 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 I agree with you, Danai. That is a common mistake, which is that people decide what the thing means on their own. On their
Mm-hmm.
own. If there are three options and I like option B, say option A, B, and
Most
C, and
that.
I like option B,
So remember saying say this, you
and
know.
then you speak as if the person said option B was what they're doing. And then when
Mm-hmm.
they come out and they go, we're going with option C. But how could you when you said option B? I mean, one of the biggest things I have when I'm talking to people about investing, I ask them, they tell me somebody says something and I ask them. Shout out to Alain. Alain, if you're listening, you can jump on and talk to us. I know you got cut off last week, but you can come on and talk to us. Alain is notorious for that. At least over the last few weeks, he's spoken to us where he said something and I say, what did they actually say? Like what was
Mm-hmm.
actually promised? In this game is a game of prediction, and it's a game where the people that we're speaking about cannot lie to us. What they say
Mm-hmm.
they're doing, they have to do. What they say has happened has to have happened, or they can face lawsuits, and they can face it can be heavy for them and the entire board and the company, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so paying keen attention to what is actually said is extremely important. And of course, then understand, not just paying attention to it, but understanding it, interpreting it, and putting it in its right place. And I think that's a common mistake that is made across the board. Danai and all the girl subscribers know. Danai especially know because he's probably heard me talk about it the longest. I always said one of the most dangerous things are the lie that you want to believe.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. The lie you want to believe is the lie that is most dangerous because
Mm-hmm.
I want, I want. Chris Berry came on and
Pick up
him say
AMG.
him love SVL, and so I know that what he's saying is that Caymanas is gonna spin off, right?
Chris Berry never said at
He never
all,
said
but
that
you
at
decide,
all,
say, yeah, man,
right?
anything anything him say about this thing mean exactly what I want it to mean. Let's go.
Exactly, right? And that's a dangerous thing. So I pay keen attention to what is actually said, and you learn a whole lot from it. And that and the rules put together carry you far. But you want to learn more about that, come to Grow. There's Grow tomorrow morning, 10:30. You want to jump in? There's Grow tomorrow morning and Sunday. Let me not oversell it, but for the Grow subscribers, I'm trying to ensure that I put some serious work into the advanced grow this month. And I think you guys will like the advanced grow this month and financial fitness. But yeah, can all the way back. I think people will not hear about summer for Jam Tea, and I think the highway thing is gonna happen. I think people pay a lot of attention to the highway. I think IPCL might face some drop because they put out good results, and if you just go off the rule of thumb, good results, the price falls. Bad results, the price falls further. Um,
Further.
Yeah, but I want to give you at least one more, and then I'm done with the freeness. I'm done with the freeness. I'm done with the freeness, Troy. One
You
more.
give me enough still now.
You are correct. I've given you enough. If so, if somebody else sends a speaker request and later on I ask, maybe I'll touch one more. But you're right. I've given you
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
So I hope you
Yeah,
like
man,
the
respect
answer.
for the Respect for the answer. Before me jump off, I just want to know if he's an introvert or extrovert.
That's funny.
That's hilarious, sir.
I think of myself as an introvert. Actually, I'm forced to
In
be.
drive.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
God, do not
forced
make
to.
that joke, then.
Do not do that joke, can I?
You're doomed. You're doomed, Randy. You're doomed.
I, I, I do think of myself as an introvert because of what I do with my work and of course brick talk stuff like this. I'm forced to be a bit extroverted, and
Yes.
some people might think I'm an ambivert, but I am very much an introvert. Or no, I'm an introvert,
I
but
mean,
the real
it's
introversion is not
everybody.
like,
Everybody goes both ways, right?
well, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know. I
a
don't know.
little
You
bit.
went to carnival with this. I
If,
don't know.
if,
In some way, but take your real life, take you. You got real life, take you. Yeah.
Sorry, I give it trouble.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
no, no,
ignoring
it's
you.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yes, I guess I'm introverted, but thanks for giving trouble like that, Troy. I'm
yeah,
introverted in that I would rather like spend my energy and time with a nice group of people that
yeah,
I am good with.
me
But
too.
yeah, but you're not gonna catch me in half a tree shouting out in front of everybody. But
Yeah, me too. Me too.
yeah, that's my little thing.
I think Charlie Munger might be introverted too.
No way.
Where you say?
Guys, too much
Well,
trouble
me
for
not
me.
know him, so I
Anyway,
can't tell it.
I don't know
Wait,
him either.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I respect his work. Thank you,
I,
thank you for the trouble, Troy.
Same.
yeah, man, anytime. Big up.
Big up. I'm going to
Respect
say,
Phil.
Ryan.
Danhai.
Yeah, big up. I thank you.
yes, boss.
Ryan, you've been waiting a long time. Thank you for being so patient.
Bro, more tell you some probably I forget to me did not ask.
Damn, no, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Oh
sorry.
no, that's fine. I'm listening. It's information, nevertheless.
Anything you want to ask? Anything in your mind you want to ask?
Yeah, I think Judge kind of mentioned it in one of her tweets. Really, I wanted to inquire about preference share JPS7.
Ah,
I noticed perhaps from in March, I think, I've heard talks and seen the uptick and so. A surge, I could probably describe it as in that stock, and it seems since this week it's also trending up again. So,
We are
um,
not hearing Ryan. Ryan.
we're hearing
oh,
Ryan, man, but we're hearing him background music too.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm turning that down a little
Yeah,
bit.
but you say this week, I mean, it halted today. There was an upward halt today.
I think it did it halt yesterday. I
Let's
think it
see.
might
My
have.
money JA will allow us to see. Yes, it did halt yesterday also.
Yes.
And it
So,
halted the day before that.
right.
And
So
the
I was
day
saying
before
this week
that.
again.
We start that.
Wow.
We start that.
GPS 7. And the day
Oh,
before
Ryan
that.
stuck. You're stuck.
No, not my stock. You know what? My interest is peaked, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So I was. The question is, I'm guessing, what is your opinion on what might be the reason for that? The research that I've done so far on it hasn't really garnered anything conclusive on my end. So,
I have a very
no,
boring answer, Ryan.
that I answer nevertheless.
Ryan, have you done
So I'm
That's
interested to
why
grow?
hear.
people,
Have you done
people,
grow?
people
Hold
were
on.
people were buying.
Have you done grow, Ryan?
Okay.
Yes, I did grow. Yes, I
So
did.
you know what my actual answer is as to what sets your prices, right?
Yes, but you can refresh my memory as well,
No
so the
way.
benefit of
No
others.
way. I make such a big deal about it at grow. I make such a big
Mm-hmm.
deal of it's one of the four most important things I teach at grow. So I don't touch again, but I know what you mean. You're wondering, is there any news around JPS7 that you are missing that
Mhm.
somebody else is seeing that
Yes.
is if there is, I am also missing it.
Okay.
Yeah. If there
So
is,
then
I'm
I
also
would be
missing
your
it.
boring answer. Then I said you
No,
had
my
a
boring
boring
answer.
answer.
My boring answer is yeah, people are buying higher and higher. People
That's
are
it.
buying. Yeah, it's not. But then I know that it doesn't actually answer. Why it's boring? Because it doesn't actually answer the way you want it. It doesn't say the thing you want. Why is somebody willing to buy that? Basically, for
Yeah, it
that
doesn't
price.
answer my questions, I guess.
What's
That
the
I
real
normally
thing that you
Yeah,
want to know?
the checklist. Yeah, the checklist that I
I,
go through to
I actually
get
don't
to
know.
What's the
I don't know why
that's
somebody
it.
is willing to buy a thing
No,
there.
hold
If I
on,
did, I
Danhai.
probably would have bought
Hold
myself.
on, Danhai. Ryan, what's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that you really want to know? You say you have a checklist, your own checklist that you go through.
Oh,
What's that? That I want to hear
Yeah,
about.
so not giving away the This is the checklist is based on what I learned during the grower workshops.
Oh, okay. I thought it
And
was something
obviously,
else. I thought it was something else. I
no,
thought it
no,
was
it's
something else.
it's related to that. So as I
Okay.
said, doesn't satisfy that criteria,
Ah,
and
well,
as a result, I'm just asking that open-ended question if
okay.
something that I missed since following that protocol, it didn't return anything conclusive. So
I get you.
yeah.
For me either. I don't know. I don't know what it is either.
Yes, I'm strongly in the land of speculation for that one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
In fact, this is a good thing. This is a good. Have you bought any, Randy?
No,
This is a good
I
call
didn't
of
want to
risk
say that on the
because
internet.
we've discussed it in a way where we expect it to continue at points where it did continue,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just I have no clue, so I'm not gonna jump in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take that risk. Yeah.
So
Maybe it's
it's
window
like
dressing.
basically just vibes then.
No, that's the thing I just said is not answering you. That is not saying the thing you just said. I don't know. Don't mean
That's why I pose it as a question.
I know, man. I don't,
Yeah.
and I know why I like the answer because a lot of people do that. Other people say, "Me don't know why to go up so vibes. Somebody else stupid. Somebody else was doing this because they must have do it. No, somebody else have them reason. Them spending them money for them whatever them spending them money for. I just don't know. I don't know
Okay.
when I don't know when Randy I forgot pay him school fees so himself a little bit of the shares.
Me either.
I don't know. Yeah, you don't know neither. But yeah, it's really you're not going to know everything, and sometimes you just don't know. And you can dig and you can dig, and sometimes the furthest you get is, boy, this thing look like this thing happening, so this thing happen, this next thing causing people to buy. But you just really don't know, and you have to figure how much you believe the thing you're telling yourself, how much you believe. All right, I think say this really good thing is happening for JPS 7 at the end of the year, and I'm willing to buy because say somebody was going to buy it back for $500. This is not happening. Nobody is saying this is happening. We're supposed to be repurchasing the share preference for $500. Then I can buy at 98, I can buy at 120, I can buy at 300 because I'm going to make money on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If that person knows that, then they may think that. Imagine I know buck up and I believe it's happening, or I don't believe. I hear say it's happening, or I do some local work and I see this quote by say energy minister that sound like something like that may happen. But I just not really clear on that. Me buying for that is then surely on my conviction that that thing will happen. How convinced I am, say, yeah man, that free purchase will happen. So anything I buy today will be back from me for $500. Again, that is not happening. Nobody said it's happening. This is an example.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I have my own. I have two strong theories. One of them I'd say on the internet. But no, I've never bought any, and I don't own any now. But let's see.
By next week?
Well, next week will tell.
Hey,
Yeah.
indeed.
And that actually is not as funny a question as that is from Danhai. That's also an example of,
Very real.
yeah, of one of the mistakes that a lot of people make. It's again being set in stone about something, not being open to viewing it differently and being wrong. If over the weekend
Especially in the face of
or
change.
at any point before 1 p.m. on Monday, I come across any information or something click in my head that explains, not even explains, that indicates future profit for me from JPS 7, I will be buying it. But
Yes, sir.
if I don't see any such thing, then I'm cool not buying it. But I'm not going to knock
Mhm.
the people who are buying it or the people who paid money from it. I've
You see this little curve, Randy, where it goes up to
it's
397 and it comes back down, and it's been going back up since. But I would not be surprised if it goes up and anywhere it falls off, somebody will tell you, say, it will fall to the 30s again and will do the same thing again, and somebody's buying because of a pattern. I would not be surprised if you hear that.
shape magic, shape magic.
Yeah, man.
Well,
It happened before, it must happen again.
well, guys,
And that was a quote by Dr. Philberg.
it happened before. Must have again.
It must happen again. You hear the man say, window dress.
This month. Although
This
I
month.
think he might have been being tongue in cheek, but I don't know.
I know, man, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Before anybody actually think I'm serious that he was saying that. No, he was not.
All right. Ryan, you have another question? Are you good?
No, that's the main question. And the other one was a commentary.
All right.
some level of
If the thing that comes back to you, let us know.
I was saying that if
yeah,
Ryan
it's
didn't
good to
saw
see
the
that I feel
train,
some level of reassurance
um,
for
Mm.
I was saying if Ryan didn't saw the train
the
on
stock
the
JFE
27th of
particular. The
Yeah,
grower.
Ryan
Sorry.
talking. I don't think Ryan is hearing.
Yeah, hold on 1 second for me, Aline.
Ryan,
Ryan, we weren't hearing you.
you
Yeah, I'm here.
talking?
You hear me?
Repeat that, Ryan. We weren't hearing you. You say you had a comment.
No, we weren't hearing you at all.
We
You
hear
were
you.
talking. It
We
was
hear
very
you
low.
now.
Sounded like
Sorry.
background noise.
You hear me? Hear me clearly now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying the other statement was more so a comment on the stock JFP, in that it was one of the stocks mentioned in the grower workshop that
Chip out again.
I was participating in. That was like 100% honest. It just, it's kind of reassuring, I guess. I don't know if it's confirmation.
Oh, it was an example.
Yeah, it was one of the examples. So, to demonstrate some of the principles. So it's kind of it's good to see some of those
Ryan.
things, come into.
Ryan,
when did you do grow?
A good while.
Sorry to cut you. When did you do grow?
Like,
It's not this week here.
Yeah, I figured a good while now, based on what I know.
Last year, I think. It was last year, for the latter part of last year.
Yeah, I guess
I'd have to double check.
Look at that, Randy talking long term. You switch up, Randy.
Yeah. Completely switch off. But thanks, Ryan. I was joking earlier that they also picked it and we did it at Split Grow this week. So a lot of the things that we went into then, they would have seen come out over the last few days and today. So that's in the same way they say it's a bit reassuring for you. I'm sure it's reassuring. It's reassuring for me to see it and realize that okay, I might know a little bit about what
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
sense.
Yeah. But I forgot that I'd spoken about it months ago. Last year, him said, "Damn, don't tell nobody; they won't believe you."
Man, most of them I tell, man.
Yeah, you know what? It is actually,
That's
guys,
pretty much.
I paid Ryan to come on and sit up.
Ryan, you put the disclaimer. This was a paid advertisement by the Grower Workshop.
Yeah, www.
That's pretty much it for me. Still, those questions on that comment. So,
if the initial question come back to you there and ask away.
Yeah, man.
Alright, no problem.
Big up. I think I see TVL keep sending
Yeah, I thought I brought it in.
but I'm not seeing it come through.
It's not working.
Yeah, right. In the meantime, Sir Jerry Mac. Jerry Mac, you can hear us? Not hearing Jerry at all.
Neither am I.
All
Yo, don't hear me?
right. Oh yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we're here now.
But there.
Do you have a TV in the background?
Go again?
You have a TV in the background or something?
No, my uncle them and my granduncle and my brethren and one of my uncle who can hear and talk. Them they hold a conversation.
So the community is holding a conversation.
Well, a sample of the community.
Alright, what go on, Jerry?
There when I go on to there, I jerk like a chicken and thing. And I sip some expensive rum. And I give thanks, you see me?
Some legal age liquor. Throwback.
Properly legal.
Which is right.
Yeah. What you sound like him do? What Mark Golden say? Toasting and brassing.
Boy, them say few
I mentioned Golden and the line cut out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Jerry, we're not here to know what. Jerry, tell us, since you're there, you had a question or you wanted to say something on the topic? The topic being buying the market and other mistakes.
Well, I guess we all know how the buying the market mistake goes. I mean,
Actually, I haven't touched that all evening.
Yeah.
Jerry, them really cut out your line, man. We're
Yeah,
not
man,
hearing your
they're in our
call.
Illuminati program.
Yeah, Jerry, see if you can jump off and come back on. See if you can jump off and come back on. Maybe that might help you with the sound. He kept cutting out. Tav and then Richard Pedler. Tav, you can hear us? I guess not. So, Richard, I think you've tried to come on multiple weeks and it never worked. I think we're hearing you clearly now if you're on. Richard, can you hear us?
Richard, Jaja, space not like Richard, you know. I realize. In their fight. You now work Illuminati program. You need to ask Sir Elon and say what going on for you. Because wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Hear him at all? Richard? He's muted right now. If he's either not hearing us, I think he's not hearing us because he's muted.
And jump off, so I guess him really wasn't hearing us. Or him realize that.
Jerry just jump back on. We'll give him a good while to come back on.
Okay. Jerry, you hearing us now? Well, it looked like I should not have. I am so sorry for mentioning Mark Golding. I really shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. Well, all right, I see Richard Pedler back on. Richard, are you hearing us?
No, you can call him name next year.
I'm hearing it loud and clear.
Okay, what's up, Richard?
Something wrong there. Trans Jamaica, the highway. When is the next leg opening?
I don't work there. I have no clue.
Richard, Richard say, yo, Randy the encyclopedia. Walk on, go read the news and come back to me.
I have no idea. I have no idea. You'd have to check. Why? Why do you ask though? You sound like one of the people who will be fulfilling what I just predicted next week, over the next 2 weeks.
Well, no, just checking on that. I know it has been, the highway has been going on for some time now. And
what do you mean? When you said a highway has been going on for some time now, what do you really mean?
A good while, Richard.
No, man.
The road has been there for a while.
No, man.
About 10 years.
That portion, I'm talking the portion between Mapen and Williamsfield.
The second leg.
Going on in terms
or
of
the third
so
leg
yeah,
or whatever.
the build out of it. It's the second leg, I believe.
No, hold on. Don't take the yes. Don't take the yes from what Danhai just said. Is that what you actually meant?
Yeah, man.
What did you actually mean? Just say it again for me. My head's off.
Now, asking when is the leg between Maypen and Williamsfield becomes operational?
You've been watching Trans Jamaica for a while.
Occasionally I'll take a peek at it.
You want me to tell you, all right, you own any Trans Jamaica shares?
Not presently, no.
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 Really? I'm surprised.
But I exited some time ago.
Oh, you sold them?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
I want to take a different position somewhere else.
Nothing wrong with that. You want to say where? I want to hear where. I want to hear where you'd choose to put your Trans Jamaica money.
Somewhere I think I'll get I think you guys were discussing it earlier on. I'd actually looked at JFP.
JFP is where you put your Trans Jamaica money.
I took a position in JFP.
Wow. You kind of regretting it now?
No, not really.
Why not? You see that Trans
Sorry
Jamaica
to interrupt, but that sound like profit.
It
Well,
depends.
put it this way. Once you make profit, doesn't matter where you're making it. So, I think Trans is up at 25%, but that's just recent. For quite a while, it has been, below IPO price and go up every now and then when dividends is coming around. But I wouldn't say it has delivered basically.
Okay. So delivered in terms of what your expectations were for it. So you got frustrated and you went into JFP. That must have been recently, or was it? When did you go into JFP?
Recently. Well, which month right now? April. I would say
Mm-hmm.
mid-February.
So you were in Trans Jamaica that long, and then so you left Trans Jamaica in February and came into JFP.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, since February.
Yeah.
I mean, are you happy with your decision?
So far.
All right. But then you wanted to know when the next leg is opening. All right, so
So I can miss them, man.
I put it this way, I'm not, as I said, and I think I would have said this to Randy already in Grow, that wherever you can find the money, you take it. So it's not about, you love something because you can make something from it.
Mhm.
So I was with it for a while, but didn't realize what I wanted from it. I suppose time would have spent. I decided to take the next vehicle.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you're looking at it now with the consideration that there might be something there.
Yeah, because all right. So if we extend, if that becomes operational, I'm expecting that revenue is also going to increase as well. I see where they would have taken some steps to take things in-house. I think they've actually take over the infrastructure section. JIO, that's the name of it, Jamaica.
Yeah, we did that a little earlier.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I see an article here. Like, I don't know if I see there's a date there on when exactly this thing will open, but look around. So what's going on in the news. I'm sure it's something there can give you some idea. If not, the what was it? Your the prospectus was saying about the timeline for that?
No, I don't recall.
Well, that's the sort of thing you'd have to check to get the detail on it, right? And of course, the financials have a lot of other little interesting tidbits.
And they do speak about their plans.
They do.
So
Yeah.
you might well see it there. Yeah.
They also have some preemptive rights that they believe in preemptive rights. They know about it. Not everybody.
Interesting,
Yeah,
right?
not everybody seems to know about preemptive rights, but they
Everybody wants to take them away.
yeah. So they know about the right of first refusal, and they've spoken openly about their about exercising their preemptive right, and how they have planned how they they've spoken about their preemptive rights, and that's an interesting conversation also, and that might be something that somebody who is interested in Trans Jamaica might want to look into if they want to understand it, and not just with this spike here. Because let me point out something. The same thing I think we pointed it out last week. Shout out to, dare I call her a striker anymore? But shout out to Shan, who actually made me realize. She pointed it out that the same spike in Trans Jamaica happened around the same time period last year, the end of April. And if you're looking at that, you can see that it went right back down to its usual point.
I think that once a year thing, Randy.
But again, just like
I don't know if that's how that works.
yeah, just like we're saying,
once a year before it.
Yeah.
The first time I see that kind of thing last year, I expect. So unless it was there before, but
There was some kind of a rise in 2020 around end of April, but again, it had listed very recently then, and that was March. End of March was the start of COVID, the first case in Jamaica. So I don't know if I'd hold that to it. 2021, end of March, end of April, there's a little bit of a rise and then it fell. But I don't like Danhai said, be careful with that, right? Shape magic isn't real when used that way. You can't think that because it happened last year, it must happen this year. But I pointed it out to say that it went up, so it can very well go down if this interest that we're seeing now, in my view, if it's not sustained, if it's not given a reason to be sustained, it may not continue. But there may be reasons for it to be sustained. Who knows?
But in your opinion, what do you think is causing the interest in it now?
That's a good question. That's how you corner me. That's a good. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, because I'm saying, what is happening on the ground? What's new is happening with it that people just, as a director buying up X amount of millions of share and stuff like that and connected party.
Well, you haven't
What's
you haven't
causing?
read the financials. You haven't done your research yet, have you?
No, there's a few glance, but I wouldn't say I've gone into it deep.
You
No,
don't have to
not a
go into
full.
it deep. Just read it.
Yeah.
Come on, look
It's never.
what's going on. I mean, if
Yeah.
if you think it's anything recent, then you have a timeline, a time frame of when to look for.
It's never deep, I shouldn't say it's never deep. It's rarely deep. This
It's
market,
really deep, like it's really like something. Yeah, it throws you. If it's one thing, I mean, Randy said this market. If it's one thing you hear, like with all the US whatever, then it gets very deep there. It's certain things, but for you often find out the certain depth you need to go to to find profit here is not necessarily as much as people think it is. Far from it, actually.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it gets very there's depth like the nice on the US market because that is what's required for the edge, right?
Yeah,
Everybody is
that's it.
reading
Yeah,
the same
everybody doing
article,
this thing already.
so the
So,
people are reading the article acting a certain way. To get ahead of those people, you have to read the financials, and there's a good couple 100,000, if not millions of people reading the financials. So the edge there becomes who can read and interpret them and understand what's happening better. And that is still an edge, and there's an edge above that. So who can interpret it and predict accurately market
Yep.
reaction off that? That's where the edge is needed for depth. Here, our industry doesn't really care about the stock market like that. So they have not brought the edge up because they are required to be like a consistent edge, and they're not they're not doing that.
It's not where they put in focus, so
Yeah.
you're not going to see certain things.
And
Yeah.
so other investors, the retail and other, the whole retail, outside of institutional, the whole retail has not had to have that level of depth. Granted, that level of depth gets you some stuff, So at least from my perspective, what it leads to is you start knowing things way before it happens.
Okay.
Way and you find yourself going like, why they being everybody else? Why isn't everybody else reacting to this thing yet? And they wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Look, for example, one of the things I pointed out at Grow, the split Grow that just finished, after we were explaining to them about some of the points, including the Total Office partnership that had them signing and had Total Office buy. It would appear that Total Office bought a lot of units or were bought on behalf of who knows. Anyway, it would appear that that transaction happened in March 15th.
That's
And
JFP you're talking about,
that's
right?
JFP I'm talking about. And
Okay.
being able to see a lot of the things that coming from it and hearing how they talk about it and doing the projections on Total Office and on JFP would make you feel great and you see things to come. But then after we finish all of that, I pointed out to them that you could go back to an article in like January of 2022, and there was things from JP saying, "Hey, we have a partnership with Total Office," right? So imagine waiting from then till now. This doesn't seem very sudden or like a surprise. It just seems
Yeah.
like, yo, did I have to wait this long? And the answer is yes. That's what happens when you go for the edge on the local market. You find yourself waiting for a long, long time, and yeah, even things that seem close. That and later this year, when you start seeing a lot of slick videos talking about reverse takeovers, and yeah, you see, yeah, those are my thoughts on Trans Jamaica. I think you mentioned the directors buying. The directors always know more than we do. So I think directors
Well,
buying is
yeah,
a
that's
good
a
sign.
given.
If I,
A given.
yeah,
Well, yeah, that might be a good sign, and directors might have a different timeline from me, so
almost certainly,
I take that with a grain of salt as well. So you might be buying for a different
they
reason.
almost certainly have a different timeline from you. But I agreed. No buts. They almost certainly have a different timeline from you. But that's the right approach to take. I like that. The directors buying or selling is not by itself an indication of anything other than the directors buying or selling.
Yeah,
Yeah. And them buying doesn't necessarily have to be good, and them selling doesn't necessarily have to be bad.
that is true. Each person have a different goal.
Exactly.
And the next one I want to raise with around is I've been peaking on Wigton as well.
Skype
Um,
peaks and a lot of
nice stuff. I've some good relationship with it in the past, but
good relationship with
I
it.
think yeah, I think I'd raise a question with somebody recently about since the announcement of the purchase up by Ferry Pen,
Hmm.
we haven't heard anything more about that thing.
About what?
Um,
About what?
purpose. What are they doing with by Ferry?
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, we heard about the purchase. In fact, I don't even know how big the place is. I'm just trying to imagine to say what could they be doing? I mean, you're into wind. I know you can't be set up turbines out that side, wind turbines. So it must be something completely
They're
different.
into wind.
Um, well, they're a renewable energy company, not necessarily a
Ooh,
wind
no, you
company.
just change your talk. That is also another point on the title, right? Other mistakes,
Yeah.
locking into the name of the thing and thinking that they can never do anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how earlier in the
Core
conversation
business.
you said to me, yeah, the core business mistake. Remember how earlier in the
Yeah.
conversation you said, wherever the profit is, getting the profit anywhere is the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's not just for people, it's also for companies. So, core business is whatever they're good at doing or whatever they do mainly. And if they
Hmm.
do something else or start doing something else and that's making money for them,
Yeah.
then that's what they're doing too, right? If you sell cars and you make a lot of money selling cars, and two of your employees talk about stocks all the time and them really good, and so you know what, you put them in finance and you make them manage some of the money for the company, and they seem to be good at it, and they're making more money from the
Hmm.
company. Is that money not real?
It's money. Money is
All
money.
right, so bring it back to Wigton and you say, they're into wind. Not that you're gonna give it, but I'm stopping there because a lot of people make the
A
same
lot of people
mistake.
not going to get
Yeah,
it.
they're into
Okay.
wind.
Okay.
No, you mean they started
Yeah.
out with wind,
Yeah.
and they made it plain that they're into renewable energy. They're also into electric vehicles.
And that's where I want to go with this, because I'm saying that you're on the ground, Randy. And you know that you might drive past it more frequent than I do,
I don't know,
so
man.
you might know the size of the lots over there. Not so sure.
I drove to the actual lot
Um,
to check it out. I did a little bit of field research. I did a
okay,
lot of field research on it actually.
that's interesting. All right, so Flash Motors.
Hmm.
I think they have some relationship with Flash Motors, right? And that's an electric car company.
What kind of relationship do they have with them?
I think they have a 25% stake in that company.
So you mean they own them?
Mhm.
Well, yeah, they have ownership in
So
it.
Flash Motors is a Wigton associate company.
Yeah, 25. Yeah, could say associate. Yes,
Well,
substantial amount.
have to say
Yeah.
associate. That's the
It's an
legal
associate.
term.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So Flash Motor has given a time. Did they give a timeline as to when they plan to start that business?
I don't work at Wigton either, but I don't, I don't know if they did. But why do you ask? Why don't you know? Because you say you're looking at it, so I think you must know.
No. But Randy, I'm relying upon your knowledge. Your
That
knowledge
is
seems to be more
dangerous, my
extensive
brother.
than mine.
You're assuming
No, no, no.
I could lead you to some people that you could have a conversation with, and they would make it clear that you can't trust my knowledge. My knowledge is not that great. Um, I also don't always trust my knowledge, which is why I check
In
that.
fact, the man just said
it sensibly. The piece of land is a little over, I think is about, the piece of land is about 1 acre. Yeah, that piece of land is about 1 acre large, if I have it correctly.
It's pretty small.
Say that again?
I said it's pretty small.
Yeah. But you see, you're trusting me to say that. I am going from memory. You should go and check. So you say it can be wind, as far as you know.
No, it wouldn't make any sense of wind there.
I might agree with that. From my memory, there are only 2 places on the island that wind,
Can support it in the way they
yeah,
need it.
that can support it.
Yeah,
And there might be
probably.
another place like offshore, but that's another thing. So not wind. I'm agreeing with you with the not wind. Battery. What you said? Battery what?
Whether it's going to be a battery assembly plant or they're going to assemble the thing there's solar panels.
Assemble solar panels there.
Yeah.
Okay. You're
That's
thinking that's
amazing.
what they're going to do there?
I'm just thinking about the size of the place and what they could possibly do along the line of renewable energy.
Agreed. What have you looked into?
Suppose they're not doing renewable energy, but they're doing real estate. Get a feel.
You laugh. Somebody mentioned there's a pure real estate play.
I think it's possible. I say if they're making money legally and the Article Association allows them to do that, then I suppose they can go ahead and do it.
It does. And they bought the land. They bought the land for more money than it was on sale for.
Yeah.
Why do you think they did that? Buy for more than it was on sale for, Randy?
No comment. I think that they did it because they really wanted to own it. I know they own it.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's why I think they did it. Richard, here's the thing. I want a direction. I want to hear like a direction. Like, why are you looking at it? Like, why are you looking? Or let's say that you heard that it was a battery assembly plant that they're going to do there. Let me be clear. I did not hear that, and I'm not saying that, nor do I think that. But let's say that we heard that there's a battery assembly plant that's going to be put there. How does that help
What are you
us?
thinking?
What
Yeah,
then?
what are you
What
thinking
then?
happen?
What then does that
Yeah.
make you think?
Well, we'll look at a new stream of income. That's the first step. And where it's going to go from there? Is it that they're going to just do it for Jamaica, or they're going to look on the Caribbean wide, or they're going to extend to Central America? Depending on what the plans are. So that would just be a start.
Yeah, man. So if it's, I mean, what does it do for you? What's your next step? Is it that there's something you want them to be doing that would say, all right, cool, this confirm what I want to know about Wigton. I'm fine buying it or selling it or whatever you're doing with it. What was the information you're gathering now? What's the direction you're going with the information you're gathering?
It's just part of the process. So therefore, you're getting all information they can.
So you just want clarification. Just more dots connected, basically.
No, you don't gather all the information you can, my brother. You get lost if you do that. You do grow?
Fox.
No, man, that you can, that you can.
But
because
that's
you
not
will get
progressive.
everything.
Have you done grow? I don't know if you said it.
I
you
did
or not. Well, if you do grow, then
did, man,
you know that is just grabbing the random, the raw information is a exercise in futility. So, some people like it, some people do it, some people are cool with that. But to me, that's a waste of time. Because then when you ask them about a company, when you're having a conversation with a company like you want to have with me, imagine if all I did was just giving you data points. Oh, yeah, they bought a piece of land. The land is 1 acre. They paid more than the listing price. I could tell you exactly how much they pay for it. But that don't really help. What you really want, you're wondering if Wigton price is likely to go up. Are you looking for exciting factors around the company to see if that will help? You're looking for factors around Wigton earning more money?
Yeah, because all the sentiments, as I said, sentiments is going to drive the price. I mean, you would question whether or not the company has some fundamentals going right for it. It's a sound operation and stuff like that. Yes, that is good.
No, of course I would question that. What do you mean? I question that all the time. I question all the
Yeah,
time
but I
for
mean,
all sorts of companies.
yeah, but after your question and you're satisfied with that portion, you ask yourself, so, okay, fine. Why? Oftentimes I hear you normally mention JMB. So there's nothing wrong with JMB as it relates to a company and making profit and stuff. But
Mm.
are you seeing it reflected in the movement in the price?
No,
No.
because it's bigger than that.
So,
But I'm with you, you know. I'm saying that I don't know that you've actually done that yet because you're not touching any of the weak turn points. So far, everything you say, you either kind of get near or you're asking me to tell you how it go. So like Flash Motors, 21%. As me bring up Flash Motors. I said a piece of land, which I did
hmm
buy. You're
yeah.
saying, why are you caring about a piece of land? Because you want to see if them can make money, which I understand, makes sense. So then how could they make money from it?
We don't know what they're going to do with it yet. So we're just basically speculating. That's the
Yeah,
point I'm
man, but
making.
that's the
But
start.
I
That's
was
step
reaching
one.
out to you to
That's
find
step
out
one.
whether or not you have any additional information that you could share. But
I mean, I do, because I did the work.
mhm.
So that's like I did the work.
Randy,
You get me? If I don't mind sharing some things, but really coming out, you just mention Wigton, and I must tell you something great and then it's good. How much Wigton shares you have? How much money you have in Wigton? Well, you have
no
Wigton?
man, no, no, not no, no, no,
You don't own any Wigton.
no, not presently.
When you sell it, February,
I think I came out of Winton last year.
and went into
Last
what?
year.
JFP?
No,
Trans Jamaica.
no, not trans either.
Mm.
All right.
The thing Randy is saying is
hmm
don't get lost in just the data.
Yeah.
It helps a lot when you know exactly what you're looking for in relation to a goal that you have for your money. And then when you start looking at something, then try to frame everything, try to frame the data points around that. So I know say Victor doing this thing. So what kind of impact I expect this thing to have on Victor? Or what kind of impact I expect that to have on the people that are willing to buy a Victor or whatever. So how far them going to buy it? What kind of price I can get on it? What kind of gain I can it fulfill my goal? Try to frame that down as much as possible. It really helps when you're looking at companies with that already behind it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have the problem of me and Randy, where we just sit down and we look at every single stock and we have to do that behind it over and over and over again. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do, but it's very easy to get lost in that process
Yeah.
instead of actually, my goal is X, then do this.
Yeah. Or if you're looking, even if you're just broadly looking at the company in order to figure out what could be happening in the future, you then actually still need to know what the company is, how they make money, how they set up, and what the likely arms are. Because looking at piece of land, like that's why I ask, let's say it's a battery process, a battery
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
creation
See,
facility.
it's a battery thing.
Then
What
what?
happens from that? What happens for you from that? The moment if you find out information, and what's the next step? What are you doing with that information? That's the question. Does it then mean, boy, okay, I think this battery operation, I see this battery operation, and I think you can make some amount of money that I think people like and buy the stock higher for. What exactly you have to be way more detailed with it than that. But I think that's really why we look at stocks, right? Because we want to find out if it makes sense for us to buy, because the price will go up from whatever. But you have to break that down. It's a battery operation. What next? Get me?
No, I get you. I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I'm looking at I look at Wigton and so I have some of the information and I'm asking some stuff. So you look at it and say, okay, fine. They have been in Win primarily Win. They do a few other projects. I say I'm doing something with for the government. I think down in St. Elizabeth, setting up some solar site for water pumps for some irrigation for the government. And the next thing I look at, I'm saying that the original plan, I think the original plan from the government was as it relates to the energy mix, that they wanted to have about 20% by 2030, right? I think that was the original plan. I think that has now been changed to 50%. but I'm not seeing any big move from Wigton to say, okay, fine. Are they putting additional generating capacity in terms of wind?
Did you check? Did you check?
At no, so far I've only
Hold
seen
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. You said that you want some food from KFC by 12 o'clock, and it must be in the kitchen by 12 o'clock. And at 12:30, me and you talking, and I say I want some food from KFC in my kitchen at 12 by 12 o'clock, and I don't see any moves being made for that. Did you check the kitchen?
Yeah.
But why you check the kitchen? To see if the food is actually there, right?
And the movement's going on around there.
So how you say that Wigton not making any moves, you don't see any moves, but you also say you never check.
No, man, I didn't check.
So you checked.
No, man, I checked, man. What I noticed is that.
Hold on, no man, we'll work with this. You check and Wigton not doing anything to show them increase in their generative capacity. That's what you said.
I think they're replacing.
They're
But
replacing.
yes, I'm not seeing an improve. In other words, additional capacity.
They're replacing what?
The turbines in Manchester. So what I think they've done is that they're replacing
turbines in Manchester. What exactly are they replacing?
So they have phase 1 and they have phase 2. To the best of my knowledge in Manchester. I think they're replacing those in phase 1. But in terms of increasing the output per se, I don't think they're putting additional.
You sure?
I can never be absolutely sure, but I can check again.
You can be absolutely sure.
You can check and be sure. That's it.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
And them have 3 phases. You hear not phase 1. Them have more than one.
Yeah, phase 3. 3 phases. Phase 1 is the earliest, so of course.
Yeah. And phase 1 being the earliest means the technology used for the creation of phase 1 is now how many years old? I'm asking.
I'm not sure. Well, I think I have a lifespan of about 20 years. I think so it's somewhere in that region.
So it is about 20 years old now. So you think that the technology for wind turbines now, 20 years later, is better or worse?
With improving technology, I expect it to be better.
And you hear that they're replacing the oldest set.
And
you say that there is no improvement to come?
No, I'm not saying improvement. They might be more efficient, but I'm not seeing in terms a significant improvement in capacity.
But
from the last
efficiency in power generation is shown by increased capacity.
Not necessarily. It does mean that the turbine might be more efficient.
Or efficient meaning what? The same level of wind might cause it to produce more electricity?
Or you could have less level of wind producing
same amount or more.
Or more.
So the same level of wind would give me more electricity then?
In a more efficient system.
In a more efficient system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in power generation, greater efficiency leads to greater capacity, meaning greater energy production, right? So why would you think that replacing the oldest set with the latest technology would not indicate greater power generation? Here's something I did, another field, bit of field research I did. I every now and then weekends, me and my girl would just drive out, we'd go somewhere, and I'd try to check out something out a listed company. And one day I just say, I want to see the windmills. So
did she know that?
Did she know that that's why I do it? That's
so
not why I do
it.
That's
the research.
That's not why I do it. I do it because I like to go try. So I drove all the way up to the very romantic windmills up in the hills of Manchester, up there by Rose Hill. And my question that I kept wondering was, are they replacing the stuff in phase 1? Or are they putting in new ones?
Because then what's the driving for replacement?
Yeah. Also, when you're there, this is one of the beauties of field research. I tell you to Danhai, like you can immediately see, and when you get closer, you can tell exactly which ones are phase one because they're obviously older. Not older because they're rickety or anything, but they're bigger.
Mm-hmm.
They're bigger. They look different. You can tell that they've been there longer. They're still working,
Basically,
but
less
you can they're
efficient.
bigger. Yeah. And the newer ones are smaller
Mm-hmm.
but
And
more
sleek and
efficient, right?
fancy.
Which means a smaller footprint. And when I was up there, there's so much space. I'm like, in my view, I'm not an engineer, so in my view, you could double the count of windmills up there on the same piece of land.
I don't know if you can put them so near together though. Maybe that's the reason why.
There's enough space.
Yeah.
Go up there. I encourage you to go
An
up there.
engineer would basically tell us more, but an engineer
Yeah,
would also know how much more things can go there.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. Go
And
up
it also
there.
matters the type of turbines and all that. But an engineer could work that
Exactly.
out. And
Mm-hmm.
they have a team of engineers.
Yeah. And when the old ones from phase one are done, I remember thinking that also that I mean they're at their end of life where they tend to start being less efficient. Um, but they're still working, right?
Yeah. Break down frequently, just like a car. So
They
it's all
might
I
break
think
down a little bit more, so you
more
need a little bit more
maintenance.
servicing,
Yeah.
But then there's a point where,
but they're still working.
yeah, so you look at the profitability of it. How
Yeah,
much
and
are going to spend on this thing versus it? I mean, you already have it, you know. So
Yeah,
are they running at a loss? If not,
exactly.
then until they are, then I think that makes sense.
And then when you
So,
look into what the Wigton is actually like, just the general agreement, like how Wigton works.
yeah.
And I should all these points I'm bringing out to try and also share some mistakes that we can avoid along the way and some learnings along with those things. Um, one of them is like looking on a point and deciding that the point is bad. Not that you are doing
mhm.
this, but deciding that the point is bad, and that's that.
Yeah,
Like the
you
point
done
is
this.
bad, and that's that. Without looking at it any other way. So Wigton is a great example of that because I remember when they were just listing, one of the things that was being said about them being bad, one of the mistakes in my view, was that they only have one customer. Like it was said as a problem.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah, yes.
But thank
And
God,
some
depending
people
on who
still
you
hold
ask
that
now,
view.
they
There are
don't
some people
remember.
that still hold that view now.
Yeah, I've heard that view up to maybe late last year. They only have one customer. Like my guy, under Jamaican law, only one entity in the country can buy electricity. You can only sell to one. Like only JPS is the single customer under Jamaican law,
Yeah, that
right?
So
don't
what you
make
want?
sense.
What you want, so right?
So what you
So you're
want
saying
Wigton to do? Break the law?
so any alternate investment energy, any alternate energy investment in Jamaica is bad. That's what you're saying. That's the line you want to die on. That
Yes,
just don't make no sense.
it don't make sense at all. And so I made that point around Wigton to say that the government has that thing that you pointed out that they have a goal and they've raised the goal.
Yeah.
And it is that it's import substitution for every amount of energy JPS generates from a barrel of oil. That oil has to be imported into the country, it has to be paid, blah blah. For that same level of energy, Wigton gets it from wind.
Yeah.
So we're substituting imports. We'd have to spend money on that, right? That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads to a little mandate. I'm saying the wrong words here, but the essence of it is that every kilowatt of energy that Wigton produces, the JPS has to buy.
Yeah, because I guarantee arrangement now with JPS.
And it would literally make no sense for the entity that needs power and has two options to get it in a renewable way or a non-renewable way to
Mm-hmm.
ignore the non-renewable way.
Mhm.
To
But
ignore the
Robert, tell me
renewable way.
something.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned that, can Wigton by itself unilaterally get up and decide to put in a new farm, increase its capacity without the government saying go ahead? Do they need the government permission to go ahead to increase capacity? How does it work?
I don't believe you not really don't work here. So
Yeah. Yes.
um
Yes, they need
so
permission. Just to add that. Sorry to cut in,
I mean they
guys.
don't need permission. They don't need
Yeah,
permission. They just need permission to sell the government. But they can set up a wind farm if they want.
When
It's
you
just
listen
that,
to the
hold
last,
on.
did
It
you
just, no,
listen to the
no,
last AGM?
hold on. No, I don't need to listen to the last AGM to answer this.
A lot of dots will be connected there. Just say.
That's cool.
Yeah, but the law is the line.
But a lot of
The law
mistakes
don't
will be
happen at the
made.
AGM.
Thank you for that one, to Ali. That's another set of mistakes that people make. You listen to things at AGM and you take an interpretation of it and you run. Like, things can be said wrong, or things oftentimes are misinterpreted from AGMs. That's why I always say what is actually said, and then what the actual rules say. What does the law say? You can put a windmill on your house if you want, right, Alan?
Yeah, you can.
And if you want, you can stack 1,000 windmills on top of your house, right?
Sure. Uh-huh.
Persons allowed it.
So why can't Wigton put as many windmills on the land?
But you can provide energy
That's a
for
different
yourself.
question.
You
That's
have,
a different question. That's a
All right,
different
go ahead.
question. You see, and
Ask the question again. Sorry. Ask the question again.
the question was, can
Mm-hmm.
they put on their own? Can they come and put together windmills and just choose to do like a new phase? And I'm saying yes, they can.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is very important. But
Yes.
they have to be filling a need that's asked for from JPS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they are in the business. They're a business. They're not a charity. They're a business. So while they can do it, it wouldn't make sense for them to do it unless they have a definite need that is being asked to be filled. So if the government say, hey, we need 20% more, and you win the contract for the 20% more, and the government signed the 20% more for another 20 years, then you go and do a new phase.
Yes.
So yes, they can do a new phase whenever they want, but it only makes business sense to do a new phase when you know that you'll be able to sell.
Yes.
And I'm saying it that way because if you think about it, then it allows you to have an
Actual
as
understanding
though
of the thing versus
exactly.
I know how it worked this time, but if I know how it can work every time, then I have a dot that is unending. Every single time this thing comes around, or every single conversation you then have where that point is important, you can rely on it. Versus
Exactly.
I understand how this thing work versus I understand how this thing went, this event happened versus how the situation works.
Yeah. Understanding how the situation works is more important because things might happen in a different way.
Yep.
And being able,
Speculation. Imagine we're wrong about that. Imagine just being wrong about that point, and then because you have an idea of how the thing work, how the thing going to go, you could very well be wrong.
go.
They could or did go. Well, imagine in the Wigton example we have here. Imagine not understanding how the thing works, but basing your analysis on how you think it can go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, hold on, Danhai. All right, let's look at this one. So therefore, if the government is now moving the target to say they want to get to 50%, right?
Interesting, right?
Yeah, interesting because where we are now, I think 2020, the last thing I'm looking at 2020 would have been is about what is it? 6% is wind, 6.5% is wind, and 3.5 hydro. That is supplying 1% solar, supplying JP, right? And to move, I think we are somewhere about 20 now. I think
what's the target? What's the exact target?
To go to 50% by 2030.
All right, good.
2030. So if Wigton, well, I'm not so sure because the government can decide to bring in somebody else, to offer the service as well. But if Wigton is a person, is a company,
how does that work? How does that process work? How does the government decide who will provide the renewable energy or is supposed to provide the renewable energy?
That's an interesting question. So we can only talk about the only one that we know right now that is doing it, which is Wigton.
No, sir, that's not the only one doing it, and that's not
you just tell me say
only
hydro.
talk about that. Yeah, you can only talk about it because you haven't actually read and checked. So you have to read and check, and that's what I want people to know. That's a stronger thing. I could just tell you my thoughts around Wigton and lay it all out, and then
2 weeks from now, Randy have a different thought on it because he get new information. How you feel?
Or
worse,
ask
him again.
Or worse, it worked. Let's say it worked. It worked and it happened, and then what? Then it done after that, right?
No,
so the thing that can help you, the thing that can actually help you
Yeah.
is answering the questions that you hear me asking. And it's not just for you, I'm speaking through
Yeah,
you for
yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
also.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
Richard, we're
for
doing the topic, so I have to just run with that as well. You remember? So yeah, so
exactly,
and
yeah.
we frame everything with respect to that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's if you understand those things that I'm asking, which if you're
Mm-hmm.
really looking at Wigton, you need to understand them. You need to understand in order to do it. Otherwise, I can just tell you something. I can just throw some facts at you, and it will sound good, and it'll probably be correct, and it might even happen. It usually does. And then what? You make the money, and then how do you make it again? Because it might not happen the same way the next time,
Mm-hmm.
or you might have to wait 3 years for it to happen, and then it happen, and then what? How do you do it again? So the lesson that you should pull from that is what actually happens and what's supposed to happen, and how does it work? Because knowing how it works will allow you to know when it's also going to happen and look for the signs. And I think if you do that, you and anybody else who does that, you're going to be surprised because you're going to realize that a lot of the things that you're waiting to see have already happened. A lot of the things that you wait to see may have already happened. And you wouldn't even have to guess. You can actually start, put pen to paper to get some numbers in mind as to what that will look like and
Mm.
unless you just want me to tell you something, in which case I can tell you that I think Wigton will earn more money. I think they've diversified the income and they'll continue to earn from the diversified income. Um, that article you saw me bring up from Kalila from a year ago, the
Mm-hmm.
title of the article, Kalila knows the sensationalism boy. She have the YouTube down pat. Electric cars in Jamaica, and the headline is IPO definitely in the cards for Flash Motors.
But that is way down the line to come, if it's gonna come.
Well,
You know?
it's from a year ago. So we are now down the line from a year ago. We say it's down the line. How far down the line is it?
I have no idea.
So how you know it's down the
Absolutely.
line? How you know it's not next month?
I don't know.
So how you say it's way down the line?
Besides, it could be down the line, way down the
And
line.
it could be tomorrow. What you mean?
Because at the time that she mentioned it, she mentioned when last year, what time that she mentioned Flash Motors?
A year ago.
A year ago. Okay, good. And did anybody expect it to IPO last year?
I didn't talk to everybody.
Okay.
So
I don't
I mean, I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what other people are expecting, but I wasn't talking
I know we're
to you
expecting
about
that.
that point from the expectation. The
Mm,
IPO, if Flash Motors IPOs next week, I don't think they're
mm.
IPO next week, but if they IPO next week, then what?
So be it. If you have some money,
No.
you get into it.
So that's another, sorry. So that's another thing that, and this is specifically not just for retail investors, but it helps
Mhm.
us because you're not going to get it from the industry.
Yeah.
Um, you get it from Danhai, but you're not getting it anywhere else really. It helps. It's a mistake that people make. They think maybe in a linear fashion, but they don't think in terms
Mm-hmm.
of, what's the name of that thinking? Next steps. That's a, like I asked you earlier, if the piece of land by ferry is being used for a battery park, like you think, then
Mhm.
what? You see the answer to the then what? The going down that road, that's where the profit is.
Mhm.
That's where the profit is. You see the answer to the question about what 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 is the process from the government of um, getting more
Renewable
capacity?
into the mix. Yeah.
Yeah. The answer to that is where the
Mhm.
profit is. The answer, you see the answer to what happens if Flash Motor IPOs tomorrow? What
Mhm.
happens to Wigton if Flash Motors IPOs tomorrow?
Mhm.
Is where the profit is.
We have to actually answer
Yeah. And a
versus
lot
leave at
of
the point.
time, yeah, and a lot of time what happens, another mistake people make is that they assume almost like they assume the worst up front. You know, like I said to you, say Flash Motors said I'm going to IPO, and you say, yeah, but that's way down the road.
Yeah. What
That is
what
so
when I heard the news last year, that's how I felt about it. Personally, that's how I
you
felt. It
felt
was
you
a
felt like it
down
was
the road.
how far down the road?
Hmm?
How far did you think it was down the road?
But I think they actually did say that. They did say that the operation wouldn't start within 2022.
No, no, they did not say that. Um, they didn't say. They said literally the opposite of that.
What that?
They
What's
said
that?
that they
Did
said
they
that the
say they were going to start
operation.
in 2022?
Yo, I'm not hearing you. You get a muffle.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He
No,
said
did they say in the article that they were going to start in 2022?
yes.
Start
Flash
operation?
Flash Motors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't they? Didn't they already start operating? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I know that they've been operating from then, and they're in
Yeah.
operation, which is why I know that he didn't read the article. So to make that assumption about the company or reading the article is crazy. That's a big mistake that people make. We make the assumptions and we make the speculation without. Speculation is fine, you know. You just have to have a basis from which you're speculating,
No,
and
hold
make
on.
sure that that basis is strong. If that
You're
basis
right.
is wrong, your speculation is bound to be wrong.
No. It's not about speculating. I'm saying that we'd have
No, it
read
is.
something from
It
last
is.
year.
It's
I
blind
might not remember.
speculation.
Yeah, but I don't have to remember exactly what the article said last year. I'm not looking at it now. But I'm
I
not.
know,
You're
but you
saying
did.
that it did say you're going to start operation in 2022 in terms of up and running, selling vehicles.
Yes.
Okay.
They didn't say that. They said that they had. They said they spoke about vehicles they brought in and testing other vehicles.
It's actually having front there, right?
Yeah, man. You see, that's the thing I'm trying to get, not just you, for everybody to understand, you know. For us to have the conversation in the real way. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
even mean just here. Even just like earlier we heard Troy saying him have 7 people working in the department and 5 of them invest. And I asked them have conversations and them say, yeah, them have conversations around things and rare, right? And I'm saying how great that must be. You see those conversations, the best version of those conversations is when they are done on a basis of fact.
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I might not be privy to what you have, but I'm looking at something here. So, companies currently arrangement with Stewart to retail Chinese vehicle that is procured and supplied to Jamaica auto dealers for
Mm-hmm.
local sale. The showroom is expected to be operational by third or fourth quarter of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
There's an article from July 13, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I was just talking about the showroom. I don't know if they're operating without
Yeah,
and then
that's not
yeah.
them. That's not Flash. That's
Stuart.
Stewart's. So we can owns Flash right now, you know. So we can check how Flash is doing if they're actually doing business. Because we can have to report the piece of Flash them own.
Because they own 21%,
Yeah.
which as you pointed out is an associate stake.
So this Flash Motor Stewart collaboration here is a different thing.
No, it sounds like it's
Same
Flash
thing. It's
Motors.
within
Sounds like the
it's
same
Flash
Flash
Motors within the
Motors.
same thing there. It's just the
Yeah.
thing you mentioned wasn't that the showroom you mentioned next year?
Yeah. That's a showroom.
That's not Flash operating. That's them and them showroom.
Okay.
Unless they think that's the only operations Flash has. But based on Wicton, no. And looking at can you see Randy's screen? Are you on YouTube at all? So you see Randy's screen has a quote on there.
He noted that while Jamaica is Flash's largest market, the company will also be conducting across the Caribbean, but I assume they mean conducting business across the Caribbean. And it also, which quote did you mean, Danhai? That one?
No, the actual thing in quotes. This year really about testing the vehicles. But the next line is so we're not gonna have a full year of sales. So some sales will happen this year, but not for the full year.
We want to ensure that the product is Jamaica ready, and by the second or third quarter, we'll really start to ramp up sales. He said that last year.
Yeah. So within that year, he was saying we're doing this. We're doing it this year. So from last year, them operated, and that was the plan.
Some would say they even made profit already. So that's why that they're operating and they made profit. Would you believe it?
That's not exciting.
But remember, you say you're waiting for them to start operating, you know.
That would be good news.
But look at how a little bit of research might have shown you that. If it's so or not. Like Danhai said, they are listed. They're owned. They're an associate of a listed company, so they have to tell you about their gains or losses. Get me?
So that will come that should come in the Wigton report.
Well, Wigton has to put out a report every quarter, and they have been putting out the reports. So
Yes.
you might find. You remember what I said? Is the edge in Jamaica? Like you go to that deep edge in Jamaica, you find yourself just really pushing the energy into. You know things way ahead of the time it happened, and you wonder why is nobody seeing it yet. Remember I said that maybe 30 minutes ago. I wonder that all the time, every day. Why is nobody seeing it yet? Flash Motors reported, not Flash Motors, sorry, in between April and December of 2022, Flash Motors reported a loss of, let me get that number right. Wow, I almost have that wrong. Almost a maybe 2 bill. I have that wrong. 22 million. A 22 million loss. But between October and December of 2022, Flash Motors had a $9 million profit, 9.6 million profit, 9.7 actually, 9.7 million profit.
That's the last quarter of 2022.
Yeah. I'm so scared. I can tell that you're giving my words more credence and looking it up yourself. Please don't. Check for yourself. I could be making a mistake. But for them to be reporting losses and profits, it must mean that they're operational though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you're still waiting for them to become operational. You're not the only one, by the way. So don't feel bad about that. But I would say just check.
Maybe on my part, because is that listed? I just know that there's association with Wigton. So
yeah, man.
So
that's that. A piece of it is in a listed company.
Yeah.
Anything the listed company own, then the shareholders of listed company have some ownership base across that. So we have to report it. So if it own it, you have a super information you must see. And as often as God said, you can track the companies, you can know what's going on with them just from seeing that little bit. Don't ignore it.
I find a gap interesting though. To close that gap at that 50%, to reach at 50% level.
50% level.
Of renewable. It means that either Wigton will have to do quite a bit.
Why do you keep putting it on Wigton? It's not Wigton target.
No, I'm just saying. You know, I'm looking at something already here.
I'm just saying. Why are you looking on Wigton?
Some other company will have to do a lot. So either next company come to the market, or.
What do you mean? So there isn't any other renewable energy company operating in Jamaica?
I think there's a solar company. The hydro company is not really
the largest solar company. The largest solar company. The second largest solar farm in the
region.
think the Western Hemisphere is in Jamaica.
And Wigton only do the thing there right now. What name? Wind. So it's not Wigton.
Wind and cell
Wind and cell car. Imagine.
Yeah, but gentlemen, what we have to take into consideration is that how we set up in Jamaica. So I think there a solar farm take up a lot of flat land, ideal location.
I wasn't saying that a solar farm is coming. I said the second largest solar farm in the Western Hemisphere is already in Jamaica.
No, man, I know that. I'm just
So
saying.
Wheaton isn't the only.
So exactly.
Wheaton isn't the only alternative energy producer supplier in Jamaica.
Yeah. What I'm saying, if you're looking for additional renewable, you might be able to get it from wind easier than solar in terms of how
I'm
the
actually the
landscape in
opposite,
Jamaica
the
is.
opposite way. You remember earlier when I said there are only 2 spots in Jamaica that have wind at level that makes sense for Wigton? They're already in one of the spots. So there's only
Yeah,
one more now. And the
yeah,
other
but
one is really difficult to get to. And your initial point that your analysis is on, I say the initial basis of the speculation
mhm,
has to be factual. That's a
mhm,
mistake that a lot of people and analysts make. Your initial basis for your speculation has to be
mhm.
factual, or your speculation will definitely be wrong. So,
Yeah,
like,
but
your initial basis is that it is easier, or put another way, more efficient to get power from wind than it is from solar.
yeah,
It's
but I
not
think,
true.
yeah,
It's
man, yeah,
not true. It's
it
the
is
other
true.
way around.
All right. Think about it, Randy. How much
No,
acre,
I'm telling you, it's the other way
yeah,
around.
how much acre of land a turbine will take up, a wind turbine, compared to giving the same amount of kilowatt or megawatt,
I,
compared to um
to solar,
a solar farm? Yes.
yeah, but
You're gonna need far more space on a solar farm to produce the same amount of energy than you
where
use on
is
a wind
there
farm.
more usable energy coming into Jamaica? The 2 spots where there's enough wind,
Hmm.
or everywhere else where sun hot?
Yeah, but in terms of the land space, you might have sun hot, but do you have enough land space to do it?
We,
So,
we
for
have,
instance,
all right,
you take out the entire
where has
plain field.
bigger land space? The space that has usable wind, or the space that have the
Usable
hot
sun.
sun?
Yeah, but those are arch. So for a solar farm, you're gonna want it on a flat land, right? So that's the agricultural land you're thinking
Says
about.
who?
So are you gonna take out the agricultural land for that purpose?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean,
Well, if you want to do that.
I'm not sure though how we get to that. That's why we're trying to
yeah. So
analyze
the thing
the
is, I think I've
renewable
lost the
energy.
point, to be honest. I've
No,
lost the point.
no, I'm saying that if you're gonna put down a solar farm somewhere,
Yeah.
you're gonna need X amount of acres for it to make sense in terms of the kilowatt you're looking at, the megawatt you're looking for.
Yeah.
Comparing to putting down a wind farm.
In the what it says only two. Yeah, cool. What's the point of that? I don't understand where the genesis of that point.
I'm just saying that in terms of space, we're limited in terms of land space in the country, right? We accept that we have
Not
limited.
really. No, Jamaica
No.
is very underutilized in terms of land space, even
No,
from
Or hold on,
agriculture
hold on.
and
I
thing there.
do for that purpose.
Hold
For
on. If
purpose.
For what purpose? For solar?
Solar, yeah.
The
The
land
sun is
there.
hot everywhere. What do you mean? I mean, and for the engineers screaming at them phone right now, I know that solar isn't perfect everywhere. I know everywhere isn't ideal for it. But again, the usable piece of land, that
We
the
have for
percentage of
wind is
land that is
very small.
usable, that can take wind, is 2 places in the island. And the
Where
percentage of land that can take sun and provide
yeah.
solar is
Mhm.
everywhere. Like all of Greater Portmore is hot.
Yeah,
All
but
of
I
it.
mean, yeah, but how are you gonna do it in Portmore? Where the space is? It's there now. Portmore is there in terms of house build and land already. What are you gonna do?
No, look at the map. Most of the land is not houses, it's just land.
Yes, it's pretty open out there. We know Portmore as a Portmore, we know, but the general location of our land, wide open
Mhm.
space too, plains. But what's I'm still not getting because I'm looking at it, all right. But
Mhm.
even if that's the case,
Yeah.
what are we doing with that information? You get me? I really don't know how we got here. I'm lost.
And that's
Uh,
actually another thing that happens
no, it's about
no,
no.
no.
Yeah.
It's another thing
Go
that
ahead.
happens in investing and
Mhm.
the research conversation around investing. We start going down the road of fact, without checking if the fact is applicable to the point that we're looking for. What we're looking for, as far as I understood it from you, are points around Wigton to see if you can predict future profitability because of what you expect from the future profitability towards your investment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who cares if they might have to use farming land for solar? Wigton don't even do solar.
And if they have to do, if they go into solar and use a farming land, what's the problem for Wicton exactly?
No, I wasn't saying that problem. You were saying that Wickham is the owner play in the market. I'm saying okay, I accept that. But I'm just saying to you guys that I think that Wickham will be a better would be able to deliver it better in terms of land space
And I'm
compared to
saying
using solar.
no. And I'm saying
Oh yeah,
no.
well,
And
I do
no.
agree with that because of that same wind situation where if they're only doing wind, then
Yeah.
there's a point where they just don't have any spaces that work for what they want from wind.
Okay.
So then they would inevitably go into some other farm. In fact, I think was it Wiccan that spoke to the different farms? I think the different forms of energy production and the efficiency around them, how much money they can sell to JPS each for, and even saying, yeah, well, our next one would make sense for us.
Yeah, they did because they pretty much said in not so many words that solar is better. That's why I can say with so much conviction that Richard, that the wind is not better than the solar. The solar is more efficient, cheaper to set up, cheaper to maintain, and has more location
Has more
opportunities.
locations where they can not if
Yeah.
really imagine trying to buy a land of where the benefit from the land is only in 2 places. You have a very limited supply versus I'll need to buy out this farmer because he get a bag of money and I can put my thing there on it. And that's many farmers.
By the way, Wigton use the land around them, so they like farming happens on it also.
Mm-hmm.
I really do like up there. I like Wigton. I like Wigton more than the solar farm.
When I was to one big old setup on watch.
Yeah, it was an interesting drive. And if you jump the fence is easy to jump also. So don't jump the fence. That's trespassing, but it is easy to jump. And if you drive the right piece, you can also enter the land.
Information given up there, Randy.
No, I'm saying don't do it. What do you mean?
Don't make it
do
tempting.
Yeah, don't do it. But if you choose to do it, there are places where you can enter the land, and it's land. It's people's land too. I think they lease the land. I don't remember. I think they lease the land because there's signs saying like, don't let your cows come too close, or don't farm within 50 meters or 10 meters of the wind turbines or whatever. It really is great. But I want the point that I want us to take from all of this is that
Mm-hmm.
just make the basis of your speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Let that basis be fact. That's the strongest basis for speculation. In fact, if you get it right off the wrong basis, it's worse. It's accidental profit because it's not repeatable. You need to have the right basis for your speculation. Otherwise, things will go bad, or you'll just miss. The easiest thing you see from it is that you miss opportunities. So things will be right in front of you. You say, boy, no, wait, and it's not ready yet. When it turns out, them say 6 months ago, say, this will be ready in 6 months. And then I say, well, them say 6 months ago it would be ready. Yeah, but it's not ready for now. So no, they say it will take some time. How long? 6 months. Well, that's not right. And again, I want to be clear with that example as a random example. I'm not saying Flash Motors is going to IPO, no. But I am saying that you can figure out future profit by answering the question, what happens to Wigton when Flash Motors IPOs? And funny enough, to come full circle, if you get the answer to that, then you
have to know
like
what's
me.
actually going on for Wicton and Flash Motors.
Oh, good. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say it would bring you right back to JFP. But yeah, yeah.
Just you mean that stock that the brokers must not buy?
Same one, so.
Which is why I took a second look at it and say, you know what, I gotta buy it.
So hold on a second, Randy. Initially, you had thought that it would not a good buy. Initially,
no, that's a different conversation.
The conversation that we had is, if you want to hear it,
IPO
earnings season podcast, earningseasonpodcast.com. Check out. I don't remember which episode it is, but it would be around when the
listing was
around when the JP prospectus came out. Yeah. So it would have been like the first quarter. It would have been in February 2022. check out one of the conversations that we had there. Because yeah, as I know, I don't think it's a good place for my money. I think there are better places for my
And
money.
the truth
For
is that
no, for them,
it's
we give
it's an IPO
everyone.
conversation too. It wasn't necessarily just,
Yeah.
oh, JFP is a bad company. It's, yo, are we buying this IPO or not? What do you think about it? People are asking.
Listen to the conversation. You might be very surprised. We did. I think we have gone as far as to give expectations in our mind as to timelines as to when it might be good to buy. I think when it would be good for us to buy, or in this case, me to buy. You go back and listen, it would have been. It's a great thing because a lot of time has passed since more than a year has passed. And yeah, it was a great conversation. Then and yeah, the broker tell you not to, that something isn't good. Take a second look because they could be wrong. Ask them why,
Mm-hmm.
and then test
You
the
don't agree with them.
whys.
Just remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
it's an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Test the why, and then check to see what eventually happened. That was an uncomfortable part of growth. I was going through it, and there was a there was a usually the same one of the do not participate.
Mm-hmm.
And
My
yeah,
uncomfortable situation, in fact, it came today, was people telling me why pension don't make sense for them.
ooh, that's a big one. That's a hot one.
And something I want to fight and I want to say, yeah, man, it makes sense. And I know it really does, but it doesn't have to look like the pension, and all that.
Why
But
you
they were
say big
talking
make
about
sense
like
for them?
how people tell them like, yo, like, the whole drive of make sure you get your thing, the pension, individual pension scheme, your employer don't do it, so make sure you get one or whatever, and all of that. And then they look at me to give my answer, and I'll say, boy, John will start.
What was the answer?
Oh wow.
No, it's the same answer I get all the time. I'll give it here. It's like, really? Ask the brokers and check historical returns on the pensions if they align with what you want for your money.
I
And
suppose
there's a
pension
strong
mean different
expectation for
things
you. Huh?
to different I think it means different things to different people.
Yeah.
There are some of us who are in the market and we decide that you need to have a pension fund here. And next man, his pension is something different. I mean,
Oh
a
no,
few.
man. They were specifically speaking about the managed pension portfolios they can buy at different financial houses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the historical return of those portfolios come up?
No, I said I thought to check it. And if it works for you, what you want for your money, for your plan and everything, then it works for you.
Yeah, people. Any structured investment product that you're buying, ask to see the year-on-year return of that product over the last 10 years. If they tell you they don't have it, they are lying. They
Yeah.
have
They
it.
actually cannot say that.
Yeah,
I have heard it said.
I know, but they cannot say
Yeah.
that. Ask them if FSC asks it, they say it. They try, do not let anybody do that to you.
Yeah, just
Especially
ask to
because it's a
see the year
product
on year.
and the level of the level of regulation that goes into those products, it don't make sense that they say that to you.
I know people.
They actually, in fact, FSC would agree with me that they cannot say that.
And yet they have said it. Not the FSC, but yeah, yes, it has been said. And you know it's been said. Yeah. People get away with a lot of things. They say them can't find it, or we don't have that, or they give you a. Just make sure, ask for the
Give me
year.
an email, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, you ask for the year-on-year return of that financial product. Not like the aggregated return, not the last 10 years. Ask for the year-on-year. So every year for the last 10 years. So you can see how it has performed every year over the last 10 years on a percentage basis.
And it doesn't say anything about the stock market or the bond market or anything. Don't make that run to you either. I mean, the bond market and the stock market can actually affect those things. But them not doing well or them doing well is not a reflection of the overall market. Just check what them doing, what them say they should put their money in, or what's going on there. If it makes sense for you, then think that. If you have good reason to believe that it will work out for you, then think that. And I can't tell what's going to happen 10 years from now, but they have data on what happened before. So they can give you that and it makes sense.
Yeah. That's some free advice on how to do some investment research, structured investment product research from Randy and Danhai. Uh, which actually is a good way to Richard. You had any last questions? Or are you good?
No, guys, I learned a lot from what was not said tonight.
What was not said?
Not said.
You guys are very cryptic, but I learn a lot from you guys
No,
every
we
night.
are not.
Not very critical at all.
We're very, very
In
plain.
fact, in the point when I'm cryptic, I point out that I'm cryptic. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Or boy, I'm not gonna say nothing. Or
Yeah.
I make sure I know it's tongue in cheek.
When
Pretty open.
I give it a half answer sometime and draw it back, but
So you know it's a half answer. That's a cryptic. That's a half answer.
Yeah. Richard, let me
You
tell
never
you
get the
something.
full because I
Richard,
refuse
let
to
me tell
give
you
it.
something. Because it's another common mistake that people make. You come into the conversation want to hear something. You know my solution for it, at least is what I tell people. Ask what you actually want to know. Ask the real question you want to know. Because then we are having a conversation on the thing. And if I'm not going to actually answer that thing, then you can say, okay, never really answer it. But don't ask something that you think will lead me to say what you want to hear,
Yeah.
but you never really ask the question. And then when I do say it, oh, you're being cryptic. No. Ask the thing what you really want to know. It's if you come in and say, Randy, you think Wigton share price is gonna go up 50% over the next 2 years? Then we could have a conversation about that. I think you want to know that, you know. You never ask.
You
don't
don't?
want to know that?
no, not that part. What I really wanted was
No,
just
no,
a
no, no,
Don't want
genuine.
to know that?
Richard, you said don't want to know that. Call me, you want to know that. I don't want to know if Randy thinks so, but
Yeah,
I
but
want to if it's going to happen.
not necessarily for this discussion we had tonight. I always want to know future price. I mean, I'm in the market, so I always want to know future price. But the discussion tonight was to have a broad outlook as to where it's really going.
Where
I
what is
was
going? Where what is going? Let me show you. Let me show you what you mean. Where what is going?
I was asked a specific question first. Asked about the piece of land, and
Where
then
what is going?
we're talking about Wigton, right?
So where Wigton is going?
The price?
Yeah, but well,
The
not
company or the share price?
no. I wanted to find about that particular piece of land first, and
Mhm.
then I'd ask a different question about the energy mix. Those are two questions I really want to ask.
I know that, but why did you want to know it?
Yeah, man. That matter enough, Richard. One thing we're there for.
Well, at the end game, you're looking to find out whether or not this is something you want to be in, and if you want to be in it, you want to know. So, okay, fine, I'm going to make a profit from it. That's the end
So
game. We have to
so
start.
that's what you wanted to know. So I'm saying to you
Mhm.
and to everybody, not
Yeah.
just to me, not just in a conversation with us on Brick Talk,
Mhm.
but generally when looking at your investments, when doing the research around your investments, when talking to your advisors, when talking with your friends about the investments, talk about the real thing that you really want. Don't couch it in nothing else.
The finance man I said it's free
Yeah.
thing.
We
Trust
could
me.
have had a completely different Wigton conversation if you did really ask what you really want to know. Every week, I hope that somebody comes on and asks the real question. Anytime somebody asks the real thing they really want to know, I answer it. I love it. Tonight, here the question that Troy asks. It's just because you ask nice and I promise that I'll answer it why I answer it. It's a kind of question that you ask, and that's what you really want to know. And you see, from that point, that's where you find the profit. When you start answering the question you really want to know, using facts as the basis for your speculation. Like it beat them bad. And it stops you from doing things like buying the market, which is the one thing that we haven't spoken about yet, Oliver. Richard, I hope you got
What is the term? Buying the market?
buying the market.
Yeah. The marketing quotes.
Yeah,
We
the
haven't spoken
marketing.
about it yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we can talk about it to wrap because we've been going on for a while. And I'll
Sir.
explain it. I'll explain it for everybody who get it. So the concept is that like this week, I don't know if you've known, but over the last few weeks, the market is down, which I hate to keep just falling about the old episodes of earnings season. And
You say you don't know if the market is down or not. You just watch your portfolio.
thank you.
That's it.
Exactly. Exactly. Because buying the market is a mistake. Only massive funds
Pay
and people
attention.
who don't know what they're doing by the market, meaning by every stock. That's like
Every
horses
single
are
stock.
racing
That's
and you put a bet on every horse.
every horse.
Shit.
That is not what you do. If you like an individual better wouldn't do that, an individual investor wouldn't do that, right?
Mm.
Can afford to do it.
Exactly. Um, so if a sensible retail investor, or not even retail, if a sensible investor at any size does not find profit consistently by buying the market, meaning the broad market, then you can't really tell how that investors, you can't really predict that investor's performance by the market performance, can you?
Mhm. If me only buy 2 stock, and you tell me say the 100 other stocks, the average of them is down, but that really matter to the 2 stock, man. Suppose his two are the ones that are up, are the ones that are doing well.
In fact, let me support that point. Let me again pick up my money, JA. Let me go to the combined market, which is down. Well, not today. It's if you believe this chart's on a little bit of a rise, but don't watch that. Let's look at the combined market, which the biggest stock on the market right now is Sagicor. Surprisingly, it took over from NCB because NCB share price has fallen so heavily over the
They have
years,
been
right?
in position in recent times.
Yeah, man. NCB has lost that top spot to Sagicor just in terms of market cap. Um, so in fact, the top 10 companies on the market, right? Sagicor, NCB, Massey, GHL, Guardian Holdings, Scotia, Barita, I got on 10 yet.
Wesinko.
Wissing, GK, SVL, Wisynco, and JMMB. Hear that? I said them in reverse order again. JMMB, Wisynco, SVL, GK, Barita, Scotia, Guardian, Massey, NCB, and Sagicor. Those 10 are about what? I said maybe 40 something percent of the market at this point.
Mhm.
6, 10.
That means that if those 10 fall in value, 40% of the market weighting will reduce in value, right?
Yeah.
So it is entirely possible for Sagicor, NCB, Massey, GHL, Scotia, Barita, GK, SVL, Wisynco, and JMMBGL's share prices to fall and fall heavily. We can go further. Panjam, Seprod, Carib Cement, Kingston Wharves, Jamaica Broilers. Jamaica Broilers is the 15th. Carreras is the 16th. JP is the 17th. Trans Jamaica is the 18th. Proven is the 19th. And Sagicor X Fund is the 20th. I think out of that list, the only thing that you might have heard Dana and I talk about on the show at least is with any excitement is or maybe Barita, definitely SVL.
JP in recent times.
No. invest or invest well.
You know why I know it would have. I'm not surprised actually at all, because it happens everywhere. Think about industry conversations abroad, and it's funny because in a lot of ways that might matter to them. That is closer to home for them, but we see a lot of things that get shifted over to our conversation in many ways out of context. So I'm not surprised.
Well, it blew my mind. But yeah, buying the market is probably one of the biggest mistakes anybody can make. Um, and it continues to show itself. Passive
In fact,
investing,
most people don't buy the market, but they talk about it. That's the problem.
that's true.
Do you know anybody that invests in an index fund, a local index fund, a fund that captures the overall market movement?
I don't think
Is
there's
there
any
any
such.
what?
I don't think there's any such. Is there any such?
And nobody even claims to do it. So like, even like a unit trust that's heavily diversified across a lot of things on the market, they don't call themselves a market. They speak and they advertise on the basis of active management. So it's interesting to me when we then go along the line of, okay, the market is here, so this is thing there. It's okay to talk about the things they own and where they are. I don't see an issue with that. Like, okay, I'm in JFP, but I'm in SFL about that 30. It's down. Then if you have that conversation, then you start framing the conversation in a practical way where you can actually make moves to minimize that loss, get rid of that loss, make some gain. If you're just talking about the market, then boy, let's stay stuck at the thing we don't actually buy.
So, guys, the mistake you can make is buying the market or listening to people who speak about it or judge stock performance based on that. Remember, in the best of times, meaning overall for the market, it is the ability to pick companies whose share price is going to increase along the line and timeline of your goal that will set you apart. In the worst of times, like a bear market, it is the ability to pick companies whose share price will increase along the line and timeline of your goal that will set you apart. The people who can't do it when it's good definitely can't do it when it's bad.
It's I've always found it interesting that way. Whenever it's great for everybody, if a set of people telling you, "Yo, when time coming out, things are gonna mash up," and they're never talking about the good times, even in the good times. Like, oh boy, it's as if the good times stands to represent that, boy. Let me talk about this badly. When the bad times are here, see, things bad. It's like, when is it ever good for you, bro? So. If you're not nothing good for say, then I guess you're not seeing anything good.
Yeah. I just feel sad. I feel sad about it because I really love this little space and this industry, and it's crazy to me that we're not hearing the voices from the industry. I'd like to hear more voices saying sensible things.
I mean,
like showing sensible results,
true.
showing results. Like that's the thing. Like this is like a game of numbers. Where's the numbers?
I find that weird that I can't find any place where that isn't the market. You get me? Like even pop culture, movies, everything that's thrown to you about the market is a money thing. And then the guy selling you that thing keeps saying otherwise. How?
Yeah, it's weird to me, man. I don't like carrying that weight for the space.
We talk about why investing works for people. And then we talk about why, and then in the same breath said, no, you shouldn't be doing that, making money. No, I don't not kill that point. Am I right?
It's weird to me. The only reason I'm even addressing this much of it is I don't believe people realize how much damage they are doing or can do to the overall investment space. like the overall space. We kind of brushed on it the first time we spoke about that 5 billion down day, right? Yo, come out and explain to people that say 5 billion down is like a normal thing. It went up by 15 bills, so the next day it dropped by 5, as expected, right?
Yeah,
I
or just
continues to
that's just
move
it.
up. Yeah.
Or
Also,
we stop talking about the 5 bill as if there was somebody in the market that had $5 billion and say, I'm gonna sell everything I own and then go. Like, that's not how that works. You could have a company that's worth 25 billion and it fell by 20%. So now it's worth 20 billion. And really and truly, it's $100,000 worth of trades happened on the day. 100,000 quote unquote left the market, which means 100,000 went into the market. But guess what? The share price is 20% down at 5 billion. That's how that is. It is not, oh, yo, Jano Star. Everybody is running from the market. If somebody sells, then guess what? They're not selling to thin air. Somebody bought. That's more money going to the market. And
exactly.
the movement of the market is not representing overall what's going on for the market for individual stocks, or it's not a true representation at all. The overall is not a true representation of the actual details of what happened.
In fact,
When we talk about the 5 billion as if somebody thief 5 billion or 5 billion drop out of the market, what are you talking about? Like, you literally don't know it. It's what I say. If you're here in the first place, meaning if you say you're doing finance and you're say you're a figure, you can talk on it, then immediately that don't make sense to you.
yeah. If you actually understand how the market works,
It can't make sense.
if
Because it
you
just
understand
don't
how the
work like that.
market works, if you understand
That's
the
like
market works,
saying, oh, the 15 billion I think that you literally have to be ecstatic then on that same basis. Or the 15 billion, well, 2 days before, yeah, man. Are you saying that was a really, really great thing? So we're net 10 bill? Nice. That just
I look at it this way.
very human.
I view that we don't hear a lot of people come with, which I would like more people outside of us to be saying.
Mm-hmm.
Those 20 companies I mentioned that have so much weight on the market, if they fall, and we know what those companies do for money, and we know that they're going to be around for decades, have been around for decades, will be
Mm-hmm.
around for decades, you realize that them falling is actually the point at which, let's say 5 years from now, somebody's going to say, oh, I made so much money off GHL or
Uh-huh.
NCB. It's because they bought it at the point where it's low. You want things like this to happen. It should happen. And
It's,
you
it's
should
funny.
understand
Chris
who it's
Chris was
good
here saying,
for.
like, yo, opportunity, you not buy it? Come on, man.
Exactly. This is what opportunity looks like. And as a retail investor,
Everybody want a discount until them get it in a bro. You know that.
exactly.
Me miss it. Me
Everybody want a
want to buy it
discount till them
lower.
get it.
It lower, you catch a trade now. The $3 that was your price for everything is fine. And yeah, man, all your fundamentals work out at 3. But me not gonna buy it at 350 because even though I think it's going to $6, 350 is a bit too much. You get a discount, boy, I think they're falling. I don't want to buy it anymore. It don't work so.
Yeah, yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like it's costing the entry point. And retail investors, not even retail, any investor, if your
Mhm.
timeline for profit is shorter, I don't know why you touch any of those those companies. Maybe again, maybe SVL
I
because
can see I can sitting there,
active.
but well, it depends what you're really going for.
Exactly, an active investor is not going to sit in the bus and watch the bus crashing and sit in as sorry, an active sensible investor is not going to sit in the bus and see the bus crashing and sit in the bus. Right? You don't care about
Mhm.
the bus, you care about your money, you care about yourself. I would
Mhm.
hope. So on the one hand, I would say,
And the bus
so
crashing don't mean the stock price down. Just please, please.
boy, I feel like it burned into my mind. Like, everybody's gonna have an opinion on investing. Not every opinion is worth listening to. It's actually embarrassing. So I sometimes there's something said and I feel embarrassed on their behalf. Like, yo, 3 years from now, somebody with sense is going to look at this and your name and picture is beside it, and they're gonna look and say, oh, but that person has no idea what they're talking about. Like, no shame. I don't know.
Oh no,
Protect the
yeah, something I
industry.
say
That's
with him again. The loss of shame. But anyway, let's stop beating that dead horse. I know
yeah.
nothing fully.
protect the industry. And for the people watching and listening, I'd say, yo, do not, don't think that the market is dying or dead or over with. Like it, there's still strong profits being made by many of us out there. And like I said years ago, never even know the market down until it said because we don't buy the market, we buy individual stocks. And if you check what has been happening for the first 4 months of this year, there have been specific significant gains in some companies that some people would it would appear have benefited from. And then for like the people, I guess the people who hear more from us, the growth subscribers who hear us talk, think back to what the conversation was at coming into 2022, what I was saying. That 2022 is the year where, of course, there are going to be some standout wins, but I suspect that the real wins are going to be found in small areas, in small amounts, that's going to require active management to get. It's not going to be the every month there is a 300% to get. It's going to be the I got 20% there, and then I got 15% there, and then I got 6% here, and then I got 25 there, and then oh this thing happened and I got 80% and I'm so happy, and then I had to go back to getting 10. That is what I think and have thought and still think this year 2023 is going to be like. We're 4 months into the year now, and it has proved itself to be true. There have been I don't know, there have been triple digit gains made by some people in Palace, and there have been double digit gains made by some smart people in a lot of companies that don't look like they've made it. And whoever it is, or if it's a group of people that have been enjoying the ups and downs of JPS, I'm suspecting that there's at least one person there who's been making money also. Uh, And if you look at the entirety of the market, there's obviously people that are still making money, and there will continue to be people making money on the market as long as you have some sense to look at the reality of the market and not make the mistake of just listening to the typical thought. One of the first things I learned about the market when I started getting into it seriously is that the people that read the news don't really invest. They're just reading the news.
Yeah. This very also things around the market very easily become just talking points. I remember, OG investor group. Think about that. When we had there was a real open group of people just coming in and talking or whatever. Just think about I think about some of the interactions, and I really just realized, oh, this is a conversation for other people.
Yes, I didn't realize that. I remember that moment when I realized that, oh, this is a lane.
I remember the crux of the matter situation. Remember that was hilarious for weeks. But
the rule of something?
Huh?
Rule of something?
No, man. Probably but just search crux in that old group.
Okay, I'd rather
you'll remember. But yes, trust me, man. Yeah. Just I'm here to talk about this. I have no real intention of bringing this to a point of profit, no personal growth. It has not anything to do with what you can do with this. It's I know that these things happen, and it's a nice conversation to have. It's a thing that finance is a prestige thing in everywhere. Because it's so close to it's money, so it's going to get that thing behind it. And I realize that will chime in on the basis of just that.
Which is
a man
fine.
will feel okay that he can talk about that kind of thing, or he can talk to some degree in depth, and they will run with that. And you'll be finding yourself in a conversation, and then you realize halfway through that you're talking about profit, and oh boy, does a talk.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Yeah, that is dangerous. And that's a real thing. It's perfectly fine, in my view, for everybody to have an opinion on the thing. But if you are going to make investment decisions and use some of those opinions as a temperature check, then you need to be sure that the opinions that you're following make sense. And not everybody is actually on the field. Some people just buy the newspaper to hear the match report. They don't carry the same weight as the people who are on the field actually playing the game. So, having said all of that, I'm sorry that Arsenal has bottled the league. It's actually the same thing. It's like fans will look at it and say Arsenal lost to City They tied 2 matches before that they shouldn't have tied. Them getting beat wicked. Like, well, not really. Them just turning around for the first time and they're not in first. Yes, it's disappointing, but they're in second. Okay. I think somebody who is on the team and playing probably views their performance as maybe disappointing, but not as abject failure. But that's the difference
Mm-hmm.
between being on the field
And just be the
and
reporter.
hearing
Asking
about the
question.
game. Not even being a reporter, hearing about the game
Yeah.
and giving
Mm-hmm.
an opinion on football. So everybody will have an opinion on investing. Not every opinion is worth listening to people. Don't make that mistake. That's probably the number one mistake that's still made.
Yeah, I
And
mean, it's a space of esoteric to a lot of people, and then every day you have a new person coming into this because
true.
you can't avoid that. So it's very easy to just be attached to just the conversation. But you have to
And
understand, say, some places are just for conversation. There is
yeah,
nothing driving. There's no real aim, and you can get something from that. Just make sure you're not that guy. Make sure you don't get lost in that. If you came here for I didn't want to make some money. I didn't want to see what my life can work out to. I want to pay my pension. Then if you find yourself really after every conversation, you realize that, oh, I'm no further there. I just was having a conversation. You never really talk to what can really happen for me. Then you have to just take a step back a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I think a good note to wrap things on. If if you're serious about your money and you're actually in this, you know what somebody said to me recently, that to add to that, the guys who have the most sensible conversations put effort into pointing out that you don't have to be an expert to do it, which is not
And
what people are expecting, right? I understand that
the
if
interesting
you're
part about
expecting.
expertise, where that come from? I mean,
No, well,
really
think
and
about
truly.
it. Hold on. I know I'll continue, but think about it.
Mhm.
If you think that finance, the world of finance, is complex and difficult and stocks is a wicked, you only hear about it on TV and in news and rough, and along come these two guys and them them pick a Friday night when people are drink for talk about stocks, and they're not talking about the how many basis point the BOJ is going to move the rate, but instead them talking about KFC packs or JBG must make money. That kind of blow your mind, right? And 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 then if JBG go up and them say, see, I tell you, wait, this guy's might have something behind it. That they just start paying attention to it, and it might throw people off. And I have to factor that in. How if you are not stay up a Friday night talking about stocks with an eye kind of person, if you're like a studious, this is a difficult thing, you have to be an expert kind of person, we probably piss you off. Because then I look like him to stop make money.
Oh dear, these
Actually,
idiots. Look at KFC and talk about money.
after his call, Randy, I should tell you the first thing. The place we go today, what the brother asked me.
Oh my lord. Oh Lord, people remember anybody can do this stuff. If you're a Jamaican, if you can read, if you have sense, if you can go shop and come back with the right change, you can learn to invest and invest sensibly. I'm not saying you're going to be Warren Buffett, but you can make some money and you can make enough. If you're serious about it, you can make enough money to change your life. And that's
And
not an
check out
asking
Warren
thing.
Buffett say. He ain't
That's the
talking
best
about
part.
the thing. He ain't talking about big degree or whatever.
Yeah, check what he actually says. He sounds a lot like Danhai and I. Him and Munga sound a lot like us, sometimes scarily. So,
Say this earning season.
yeah, sometimes we send each other things like, bro, tell me say you got this from this guy. Tell me say you got this from this guy.
Those AGM clips. Beautiful.
Oh my God. Guys, you want a good laugh? Go on YouTube and Google and put in the search bar Warren Buffett space MBAs.
Investment bankers also.
And investment bankers.
They don't like that guy. All right.
They don't, yeah. And if you want to learn how,
Only you hear them talk about him like say it. My brother.
yeah. Yeah. That's how they sound a lot like Danhai. If you want to learn how to do the things that Danhai do,
That's going to piss people off, by the way.
come to grow. The last grow of April is tomorrow. The last beginner grow is tomorrow. So you're between now and when I wake up and turn off the tickets to buy a ticket if you want to come. If you want to learn a little bit about investing, if you know something already and you want to buff up your knowledge, come to grow. everymickle.com/GRWR. You get a discount to Danhai if you want to get the dual effect, which is you learn how to do it yourself and then you go to Danhai, you ask him what to do nonetheless. Him kind of have to tell you. He's a licensed investment advisor.
And the more you know, the more I can help you. So yeah, endless recommendation on Grow. May dates are open. So if you want to book a session, booking May, open right now. So feel free, book a session, we talk about your portfolio and what you need to be doing to get to the profit, the goal that you have as your designated target.
Yep. And it's no joke, people. I can't believe it. It is now almost May 2023, and I have to say that Danhai Hall is still the best advisor for the local equities market. That's crazy to me. No offense to Danhai. It's just crazy to me because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. How you have this guy in the yard in a black shirt and chain beating you? Come, step up, guys. Come on. Step up.
I say, if I wear a suit every Friday night and I say, yo, I them look like more asleep.
Get them the Sagicor stand up. No offense to Sagicor.
I'm turning a bit.
No offense to people who work there or Sagicor, but you guys know that the look that I have in the newspaper.
I don't know the style. It's a good style still. Good, the suit and the thing. Them. I'm going to drop one.
You have a suit on in your Twitter avatar. Yes, you do. You got to say about people on Twitter in suits, right?
In suits.
And you're also a man with a podcast. Jesus.
Cha. And then I shares down.
The market is down. People, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you didn't, you can let us know next week if we're here next week. And if you did, you can also let us know next week if we're here next week. I'm Randy.
And I'm Danhai.
And this has been another Brick Talk. Thank you guys very, very much. I'm going to go talk to Danhai and then go talk to the girl subscribers and then go to my bed. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Big up my rock friend, them.
Yeah, man. Bless up every time. Brokies. Yo,
Good night,
I want to
everybody.
put on my plate.
I had muted that. There we go. Probably low. Do you hear me?
Yep, here. All right.